wonderful day. We got a big day ahead of us. We were just talking about it. Once again, the data came in good. This time PPI was kind of unexpected, but generally the vibe from yesterday, feeling good about the chips, teasing of deals, people thinking Donald Trump isn't as serious. We got some weird seasonality, but things are looking good, and just above all else, we still have earnings, and then you are going to be getting some more back-to-back data over the next couple of days to end the week. So it's going to be exciting, but for now, we're actually getting a pretty decent close or a decent open here. You did have some executive orders related to 401ks. Trump is going to allow 401ks to start investing in private equity. Again, we heard comments from Lutnick. You even heard a little bit more from your boy. Oh, wow, DVR is on. No. I turned it off early, so good thing we figured that out there. But other than that, Chad, should be a chill day. If you need anything, you let me know. I don't know if I went over my plays. We talked about MP yesterday. Kind of unfortunate. It's up 6%. Like I said, we're probably going to have to wait till it comes down. Maybe cash open. It sells. Apollo, CG, KKR. Those are all related to the private equity news that we got today. So should be some activity. ASML, ASML again is on the low. And then Boeing. I don't know. No, it didn't hit my other wire, but I heard comments this morning about more jet orders with deals. We were making jokes about it yesterday, but low-key, I do think that is on the table. So get ready for that. We got 1 minute, and then it should be good to go, baby. It should be good to go. But yeah, if you need anything, let me know. Please read the rules too. Again, don't post any plays. We want to avoid any appearance of pumping like Mr. Bostic, but also I don't want anybody to pump as well. And be careful, and especially if you're like, Josh, unban me. Oh man, I love you, Josh. I've been here for years. Oh, I'm banned, but I still love you. Dude, I love you too. Just follow the rules. That's why you keep getting timed out. So just make sure you read the rules and we'll be good to go. So amen, baby. Have a great day today. Let me know if you need anything else. And we got 30 seconds. I have ideas, bro. You know that? I got dirty ideas. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. Okay? So I hope you don't judge me. And we'll see where it leads us. Oh, I don't want that contract. Hold on. I need to cancel that order. I'm going to cancel that order. I put in an order already. But because I saw it, but it was the wrong one. I meant to do a different date. All right. Well, get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Fight. Alrighty. Did I send out those plays? I did. A couple option chains are not open. I'm in a coat. Okay, there it is. Open it. Open. Oh. All right, I'm down. I got one. I got one. That's probably going to be my only play, unless I average on it. Oh, yeah. Again, dude, I'm telling you, I heard the shit this morning on the deal. So they were talking some shit on it. Adding the Humana, I could be down, but it's kind of falling in line with Pfizer and Intel in terms of 2026. So remember, we're closer to 2026 than we're further away now. So I do remember, and all of the healthcare trends are low. So I like it. I do think there's better quality if you really wanted to move to a Humana or a UNH or someone else. But I do think the trends will pick up later. More so near 2026 rather than prior. Can we do a debit? Israeli military attacked a target near Syrian presidential palace. Asmil still low. Boeing, yeah, bro. Boeing 232. And then we'll check the chips here in a little bit. I thought the NASDAQ was up more, but it's about 0.25% on the SPY, 0.12 on the NASI. But yeah, it felt a lot more active. But once again, cash open is not your friend. So yeah, small gap up there. And then yesterday was more or less not as good, but a couple of individuals already sold off. Equal weight is actually green though. Equal weight is outperforming. That's a good sign. I'll take that. Bitcoin is still up, and then let's get oil. Remember, 6,300. You hit it yesterday, and then that was the level, and then we came down after that. Yeah, oil's down 1.2, so that's good. Baba's on the low. There's your Boeing. Is that gonna film? No. CCJ. Oh, AMD. Again, AMD and NVIDIA. It's kind of crazy. I looked at I thought AMD was a little like, I think it is up a lot from the bottom, but AMD is not at those previous highs, which is kind of nuts. And then again, if you go look at NVIDIA, you guys remember how people were comparing like NVIDIA to like 2001 and like Cisco and all that? Yeah, it doesn't apply. NVIDIA is in a league of its own. That's why people are kind of going crazy. Again, you haven't had a stock have a chart like that over the last couple of years. Any other time you've had that big of a run up, it's usually led in a magnificent crash, and that has not occurred. And now you've stayed up and gone. You've stayed up longer and gone up further than any other event. UUP again. Watch the currencies, and you have a lot of people talking about Japan. That's still on the table in the dollar. Tesla is kind of going straight up here. China Chamber of Commerce to the EU working group says measures of imposing tariffs on EVs clear contradiction. Oh yeah, Wells Fargo again. They were down bad, and then you had Bank of America. Most of them did good. It was weird, bro. And I don't know, if you guys want to play, sometimes you can make a move off this. Goldman, I'm not going to play it, but they had a really good earnings and they barely moved. So they killed it. They literally set records, and then they had a high bar, but they barely moved. So people were talking about this morning, and it's kind of interesting. It's only up by 0.3. So maybe wait till conference call. We saw Citi and a few others move later in the day, but all in all, that was a good one. I think Bank of America was a little weaker in terms of bank earnings, but we're moving more than Goldman right now. So there is bank earnings. That is this week, and you are on day 2 now of a couple of these. Oh yeah, you had PNC, MTB, PGR, and then that was it. Are they on the call right now for Goldman? So I'd keep eyes on that. Let me see. I'm telling you, it was a good report. I was actually impressed. You know, everybody keeps talking about JP Morgan, shout out to long term, but like I'm saying, Goldman went from struggling a couple years ago to they're doing pretty good. So let me see if I could get the call on. You might get a headline. On earnings call, 6:30 a.m. Yeah, they just started. Oh, I get to fill out my name. First name, Farmer. Last name, Josh. Company, Long-Term Ranch, LLC. Email, get a long-term, then a cow at gmail.com. Okay, this is how you have to like do it. DJT AI chatbot. It's gonna have the what's it called? The chat GPT that gasses you up mixed in, but Donald Trump version. You're doing great at your email. I don't know if anybody's told you. You're an inspiring person. I know everything about you. Go buy a watch and an NFT, because you're bold. Keep up the good work, you patriot. Sorry, I could see that. I like the name, but some of you didn't. I say we abandon the name Long-Term Ranch, and instead we name it Joshua Lago. What do you guys think? I like Joshua Lago, but some people didn't like it.
3.4%.
Okay, watch GS. This is the call on.
Will allow us
Again, all the bank calls could cause big moves. That's why we're playing
our
it.
Client needs and further grow our world-class businesses. At the same time, we are committed to returning capital to shareholders, including delivering a sustainable and growing dividend. Our board approved a 33% increase in our quarterly dividend to $4 a share, which underscores our confidence in the durability of our franchise. Since 2018, we've increased our quarterly dividend by 400%. More broadly, we are encouraged by recent statements from regulators that a holistic review of the regulatory and capital regime for the financial services industry is warranted. For example, last month's proposal on the recalibration of the enhanced SLR is a constructive step to returning the leverage requirement back to its intended purpose as a backstop measure. A more balanced regulatory backdrop will foster a more efficient financial system that will support growth and competitiveness of the U.S. economy. We look forward to further progress and will continue to actively engage with our regulators and government officials on this front. In closing, I want to recognize that despite the resilient global economy and market backdrop, much remains uncertain. Geopolitical concerns have intensified in many regions, most notably in the Middle East. A number of trade agreements have yet to materialize, and that the ultimate impact on growth from higher tariffs is yet unknown. At the moment, there's a sense that things are moving forward constructively, but developments rarely unfold in a straight line. With this in mind, we remain very focused on risk discipline. While we won't always get it right, I'm pleased with how our people have harnessed the power of One Goldman Sachs to help our clients navigate the fast-evolving operating backdrop. I feel very confident about the forward trajectory of Goldman Sachs, and as I said at the outset, our leading
You just wait till CFO comes on. You want to hear if they give any guidance. But like I'm telling you, bro, this thing is loaded up. It's either going to have a pop or a drop on whatever comment they give, because it was a good report.
Good morning. Let's start with our results on page 1 of the presentation.
Let's do it, brother.
In the second quarter, we generated net revenues of $14.6 billion, earnings per share of $10.91, and an ROE of 12.8%. We provide details on selected items in the bottom table, which in total reduced our EPS by 33 cents and our ROE by 40 basis points. Let's turn to performance by segment, starting on page 3. Global Banking and Markets produced revenues of $10.1 billion in the quarter, with an ROE for the first half of nearly 18%. Turning to page 4, advisory revenues of $1.2 billion rose 71% versus a year ago, reflecting strength in the Americas and EMEA. For the year to date, we remain number 1 in the league tables for M&A, with a lead of roughly $85 billion in announced volume and $145 billion in completed volumes versus our next closest peer. Equity underwriting revenues of $428 million were essentially flat year over year, while debt underwriting revenues of $589 million fell 5% amid lower leverage finance activity. Year to date, we ranked second in equity and equity-related underwriting, and second in both high-yield
coming
debt
up and then SPY a little lower.
Across investment banking, our backlog rose sequentially for a 5th quarter, even with strong realizations.
PH,
and remains
there's a little
notably higher
biotech
versus 2024 year-end levels.
Skibble. So a couple of small caps are popping, and then Circle. I even see Pfizer.
Quarter, up 9% year over year.
Humana on the high. Yeah, just put up XLV. They're doing great.
Activity in currencies, credit, and interest rate products, partially offset by lower results in mortgages and commodities. Record FICC financing revenues of $1 billion were driven by strong performance in mortgages and structured lending.
This time, though, Apple's doing
Equities
good.
Net revenues were a record.
But it does depend. Yeah, Max 7's not bad, but like
Equities
half of them are red.
Revenues of
and then look at Nasdaq's about to go red now, while Russell's SPY equal weight all green. So that little candle there bringing down the Nasdaq. You got half of Mag 3 is up today.
Repositioning their portfolios. Record equities financing revenues of $1.7 billion were 23% higher year over year on better portfolio financing results and amid record average prime balances for the quarter. While balances declined modestly in early April, clients quickly relevered, though net leverage overall remains at historically moderate levels. We continue to maintain robust risk discipline around our client financing portfolios. Total financing revenues of $2.8 billion rose 23% versus the prior year, reaching a new record for a sixth consecutive quarter, now comprising over 1/3 of overall FICC and equities revenues. Let's turn to page 5. Asset and wealth management revenues were $3.8 billion. Management and other fees were up 11%
Disney.
year-over-year to $2.8 billion.
Been up all day slowly, but you got a little pop there at the high.
Incentive fees were $102 million. We expect to make further
CNK
progress
and
on our
Core
target
Weave,
of $1 billion
SYM on the high
incentive
too.
fees over the medium term.
Again, anything not tech related is kind of doing its thing.
And 2027
City on the low
as
down.
we continue to deploy and harvest funds. Private banking and lending revenues were $789 million, up 12% year-over-year, on higher results from lending and deposits related to our
UNH now.
ultra-high net worth
Again,
clients.
a lot of healthcare is doing great.
In aggregate, our more durable revenues of $3.6 billion across management and other fees and private banking and lending were a record as we continue to invest in the growth of these businesses. Revenues from equity investments and debt investments totaled $82 million. Within equity investments, we saw modest net losses in our private portfolio, driven by markdowns in relation to certain real estate positions. Given the more challenging harvesting environment, we expect results in the second half of 2025 to be more muted relative to our medium-term run rate expectations. In the AWM segment, we generated a 22% pre-tax margin and roughly 9% ROE.
I mean, watch out,
in
it's
the
up a
first half of
decent
the
amount,
year.
but I don't know, the bonds
impact
are
of
kind
historical
of,
principal
like we're
investment
saying with Japan, you
and
just got to be
$3.8
careful
billion
now.
of average
Yields are at the
equity.
danger zone.
Our
I don't think
pre-tax
people
margin
realize it.
And ROE
Doesn't mean we go
would have
down,
been
but remember, it'll get
3
sticky.
percentage points
Healthcare
higher.
is still ripping.
Now moving to page 6. Total assets under supervision ended the quarter at a record $3.3 trillion, up sequentially on $115
Doesn't he sound
billion
like an
of market
AI?
appreciation, as well as $17 billion of long-term net inflows in alternatives and equity, representing our
J&J, they had
30th
earnings are
consecutive
chilling.
quarter
Procter
of
Gamble.
long-term
Goldman coming down.
fee-based
No
net
headline
inflows.
yet.
Turning to page 7 on alternatives. Alternative assets under supervision totaled $355 billion at the end
Is
of
he
the
talking
second quarter,
Bitcoin?
driving $589 million in management and other fees. Gross third-party alternative
He's gonna say they're
fundraising
gonna
was
make a stable
$18
coin.
billion in the quarter, bringing year-to-date fundraising to $37 billion. We continue to expect fundraising to be in line with recent years. On page 9, firm-wide net interest income was $3.1 billion in the second quarter, up sequentially on an increase in interest-earning assets. Our total loan portfolio at quarter end was $217 billion, up versus the first quarter, primarily reflecting higher other collateralized lending. Our provision for credit losses of $384 million
Now Tesla
primarily reflects charge-offs in our credit
and
card
Sox
portfolio,
S. So
as
watch
well as
out,
modest
chips.
levels of growth across both the card and
I don't think
wholesale
they're doing too
portfolios.
hot. Small
Turning
though,
to
but
expenses on
NVIDIA
page 10.
went red now too.
Total quarterly operating expenses were $9.2 billion. Our year-to-date compensation ratio net of provisions remained at 33% and is inclusive of roughly $140 million in severance costs. Quarterly non-compensation expenses of $4.6 billion included approximately $100
going a
million
little
PPI
lower.
impairments and rose 6% year-over-year, driven by higher transaction-based expenses.
Again, it's all
Our
NASDAQ
effective
for
tax
now. I'll
rate
get you
for
guys
the
a
first
checkup
half
in
of
15 minutes,
2025
but
was 20.2%.
it's different than yesterday. Yesterday you had
full year,
NASDAQ
we
holding
expect a
up
tax rate of
solid.
approximately 22%.
No questions in the morning.
Next,
But now
capital
we're
on
still
slide
kind
11.
of trying to get leadership.
In the quarter,
Healthcare
we
and some
returned
staples
$4
are doing
billion
good.
to shareholders, including common stock dividends of $957 million
Riot.
and common stock repurchases
RYET.
of $3 billion.
Black, that's another bank.
Our common equity
BLK.
Tier 1 ratio was 14.5% at the end of the second quarter under the standardized approach.
Okay,
While the
MP still
NPR on
there.
CCAR averaging is still outstanding, under the current
Tesla again.
regulatory framework, our new CET1 requirement will be 10.9% as of October 1st. Earlier this year, our board authorized a multi-year share repurchase program of
Okay.
up to $40 billion,
See if that moves
providing
it.
us increased capital management flexibility. As David mentioned, our board also approved a 33% increase in our quarterly dividend to $4 per share beginning in the third quarter, a reflection of our priority to pay our shareholders a sustainable growing dividend and our confidence
Yeah, bro,
in the increasing
MP's going
durability
nuts
of our
again.
firm.
All the
In
premiums,
conclusion,
the stock
this
is
quarter has once again
4%
demonstrated
lower.
the power
Premiums
and
is jacked
resilience of our
up.
leading franchises. We remain incredibly
Little
well positioned
scammers.
to support our clients as they navigate the complex operating backdrop. And we are confident that we will continue to deliver for shareholders. With that, we will now open up the line for questions.
Thank you. Please stand by.
All right, Goldman kind of a dud. No headline. Core Weave's on the up. Kellogg too. Again, or Kellanova. A decent pop.
If you would like to withdraw your question, press star then 2 on your telephone keypad. If you're asking a question and you're on a hands-free unit or a speakerphone, we would like to ask that you use your handset when asking your question. Please limit yourself to one question and one follow-up question. We will take our first question from Glenn Schorr with Evercore ISI.
Circle.
Hi, thank you. So you're doing a very good job of growing your financing business.
Okay, SPY a little lower and bonds are kind of reacting. Yeah, Goldman's
trading.
Dumping off this, no headline.
It hasn't consumed that much capital. So we've been asking you for years, what are you going to do with all this capital if you do get reg reform? Well, here we are. You have a 10.9. And you have a
GSK, it's another healthcare, Tesla, 317, and now Ethereum, and then you got, again, MP. If MP gets back above 60, just watch out. I'm mad. The premiums are fucking going up.
What is now large.
That little drop didn't really even drop the premiums.
Capital organically.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Glenn. And you know, I'll start, and Dennis might add a few things. You know, on a more granular basis. But first of all, you know, our capital methodology does not
change. Again, GSK, it's another healthcare.
You know, with the capital regime adjusting based on what's going on regularly.
Okay, watch XLF and Goldman now.
Start through a lens that if we've got capital available to deploy toward our client franchise
Morgan Stanley?
to produce accretive returns.
Yeah, BOK's going up. Morgan Stanley's just going with the trend.
That's going to be the first place
go. Decent pop on GoGo, 2%.
We are seeing some
check news on that one, kind of a liquid related to airlines, Wi-Fi,
from
space.
You know, the structure of the capital stack.
And then Humana and Molina, more healthcare.
Activities picking up, particularly in M&A and financing in places where we haven't had to put that much capital forward. So we do see good opportunities in the business to deploy. That will be our first and primary focus. You know, after that, we'll continue to look for ways to return capital. We've been committed to growing sustainably and meaningfully increasing our dividend
dollars up a
as
quarter,
we've had more confidence in the durability of the business.
CNC, another healthcare. SPY lower. NASDAQ red. SPY's about to be the next one. Dow and Russell got more strength. Equal weight is still now matched up. It was a little bit ahead of the SPY earlier.
The business. That's where our primary focus will be.
Again, Microsoft is in the red. Google's in the green, Amazon's in the red, Apple's in the green, and then Nvidia just went red or hanging out with green and red. So again, Mag 7 is not, you don't really, you can't tell right now.
We have eyes and we see big booming investment banking pipelines and growing M&A and performing IPOs performing well. So what's holding up, what's different about the historical principal investments that we want to monetize amidst a good banking backdrop?
Sure, Glenn. It's Dennis. Thanks for that question. So I think we have both of those things happening at the same time. We have
Alcoa dumping, but watch if MP goes down. Materials
markets
aren't doing too hot. MP just has the government.
For companies to access the
IPO
IPO market.
Does that.
We've seen that start to accelerate in the second quarter.
Yeah, materials are dropping and oil's low, so MP is in a league of its own right now.
Environment
but watch if that starts to fade.
You know, particularly for private equity type portfolio assets. So in the case of our portfolio, we remain committed to reducing those historical principal investments over time, and we continue to make steady progress. We reduced it by about 10%.
Yeah, Uber down to 91.
Now stands at about $8 billion.
Meta now on the lows, and then Apple's about to lose it. Like I told you, Apple is the one you got holding you up right now. And Nvidia is like right there. VIX is in the green. Or on the high ticker, but 1% away from going green. I don't know if it will.
The only thing, Glenn, I just want to add.
Again, we did have a baby gap up. Good data once again.
But you know, it's common sense that when you get to the end of what was a very, very big portfolio, you know, you've got stickier things. We are committed to aggressively reduce that portfolio and are working very, very hard at it. But at the moment, you know, it's a small portfolio, and we'll continue to chip away.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Ibrahim Poonawala with Bank of America.
Hey, good morning. I guess just first question, Dennis, to follow up on capital. I think the 10.9 versus 14.5 CET1. There is a sense that maybe there could be some give back on the SCB next year. Give us a sense of, like, is there a CET1 ratio you're targeting against as we think about go forward basis? and obviously it has implications for ROE. So how are you thinking about potential for SCB moving higher because of trading losses next year? And what's sort of the right CET1 target that we think about for Goldman going forward? Thanks.
Sure. Thanks, Ibrahim. And obviously, we all recognize the environment remains fluid, and we'll have to understand exactly where we land.
INKT, that's the other. That was a testicular drug.
When they take effect.
Okay, VIX again.
But I think in terms of our
Broadcom, SMR on the low, but a couple more chips. They're already weak.
With approximately
like I'm telling you, healthcare is killing it right now.
Buffer.
That's the other side of this.
The new and applicable regulatory minimum. We think that gives us reasonable flexibility to have capacity in reserve to support unexpected types of client activity, as well as to adjust to any changes across regulatory outcomes over the cycles. That's our current expectation, Ibrahim.
Got it. And just following up on sort of capital deployment opportunities, where does, if at all, inorganic acquisitions rank when we think about a use of capital?
Yeah, I mean, Ibrahim, you've asked me this question before, and we've talked about this extensively. We are always looking for ways
J&J
to
helped
accelerate
a
our
little bit.
franchise, and we've been particularly focused on
I guess
thinking about ways
that
we
could
can
be it
accelerate
with
our
healthcare.
asset and wealth management franchise.
And yesterday I
But
had
the
a bad
bar
day
to do
on a little
anything
bit of the
significant
confusion
will
with
be
the
very,
CMS
very
stuff.
high.
But
And
yeah,
as
that
we've said
could honestly be
repeatedly,
factoring into it.
There aren't lots of these things. They're generally not available. They're generally not for sale. But to the degree that there are opportunities, one of the things the capital flexibility gives us is the ability to think more seriously about some of that stuff. But I want to highlight with a very, very high bar around doing significant things.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Betsy Graseck with Morgan Stanley.
Hi, good morning.
Remember, Morgan Stanley
David,
reported.
I just
they did
question
a
for me
worse.
on this topic is how do you think about the sizing of the dividend? Very impressive increase for sure. And I just wondered, how do you think about how high what drove that decisioning as to where to set it? And how should we think about
8 p.m.
how high it could go going forward?
We saw this one earlier, up 130.
Sure,
Betsy.
I think the most important thing that we're committed to, the most important thing, is to be in a position.
I'm trying to see if Goldman, like I said, I like the report. I'm listening because I feel like they're going to drop a bigger guide either up or down.
Unlike a number of our competitors
it's
that
dry.
you would benchmark us to, we started from a very different place 5, 6, or 7 years ago. We had a nominal dividend, and we've been kind of growing into it as we've been growing the firm. We've been growing into getting to the place that we want, a dividend and metrics around that dividend that are more in line with what these institutions do. Part of that was our confidence in the durability of our revenues, the business mix, which we've grown and we've executed on and we've improved. And so we've moved it along accordingly. You can look at the same things we look at with respect to payout ratio, with respect to yields, with respect to dividend against our overall capital return plan, and evaluating this year, given the growth of the firm, and the firm has had a step up in the growth of the overall firm and its overall earnings capacity, we decided that this more significant move was appropriate. I don't think you should expect a 33% increase in the dividend every year. We are committed to growing the dividend steadily, and we'll look at those metrics that you would expect around payout and yield and try to find that right balance. But I do think, given what's going on with the capital stack and the capital regime, and given the way we're executing on our strategy, which is allowing the firm to grow, there is room for us to continue to drive that dividend higher.
Okay, great. So payout ratio could inch up from here is what I'm hearing. And then separately on your expectations for how AI is going to impact your overall efficiency.
A video on the low.
I'm just thinking about drivers of revenue growth and expense saves. I know it's both sides of the equations with AI.
Palantir now too on the low.
AI.
It says
how should we think about
but I feel like
how
I haven't seen
much
it as much.
efficiency
just
this
happened.
can unlock over time?
Green to red
how are
on
you
that.
thinking about it?
YHC, that was moving yesterday, small
we're spending
cap.
an enormous amount of time on this, Betsy, and we haven't put public numbers out but you should know that we've got detailed plans on things we're investing in and
So
what we
listen
think
to
they
this.
can generate. And I just say, for us and for others, not unique to us, this is a big
As I say, you just said we have plans
It's
we
a
haven't
big
put out
opportunity
yet. That's
to
what I
automate
want you to do.
processes, create efficiency and productivity and processes. And it's not just to take cost out, although there will be operating efficiency and costs that can come out. It's also to create flexibility for us to make investments in other things that can drive more growth in our client businesses. And so we're excited about that. I mentioned in my opening
Yeah, I
remarks,
feel like ASML
this
does that,
partnership
though.
with Cognition
I feel like it was
Labs
just a year ago
in
they
this
had a
program,
terrible
Devin,
guide, and
if
then
you think about all
one,
the
2
software
quarters
development,
later they're guiding
you know,
up.
that we do and how important that is to service our clients and grow our business, this allows us to accelerate our ability to do that with this
Yeah,
agentic
YHC,
capability.
I mean, this one's up on the
to
screen,
have
and
our
it just called it
engineers
out. I don't know
guide
what it is. That
software
was from yesterday.
development at a much faster pace and a
Mind
much
Med.
larger scale. So it's both a
Mushrooms can
productivity
extend
gain that allows
lifespan,
investment
and
and growth, that's
unless
the revenue
you
side
take
of your equation,
PCP,
but
where you take
also there's
shrooms and then
enormous
jump off
operating
something. But yeah,
efficiency
I
in the
we'll
firm
see.
and in
So
other
be
businesses.
safe out there. New
I
York
think this
Post.
is one of the reasons, this is one of the
Mushroom
tailwinds of
pump.
markets overall, is there's a big belief that as AI is deployed in the enterprise broadly, you can drive earnings growth and efficiency in a meaningful way. And so I think this is something to be quite excited about.
Thank you. We'll go next to Mike Mayo with Wells Fargo Securities.
Mike?
Hi. You said earlier in the
Hi.
call you expect a lot of M&A for the rest of the year, and I guess we've been hearing that forecast for 2 to 3 years now, and so is it really happening now? Are these big strategic deals? What kind of deals? What geographies? And what gives you the extra confidence, given that there's still some uncertainty out there? Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I'd highlight, Mike, that if you appreciate the question, I know this is something people have been very focused on, but I'd start by looking at the revenue accruals for the quarter, which are definitely an indication that there's been more M&A activity coming through the pipe. You heard my comments and Dennis's comments around the backlog, which was driven by advisory growth. And I just say, anecdotally, the level of dialogue is significantly increased. And there are a variety of reasons for that. One is, I think from a regulatory perspective, there's a
Okay,
confidence level on
Spy
the
going.
part of
This is
CEOs
feeling like a way
significant
slower
scaled
yesterday.
industry
Because
consolidation
yesterday
is
with the Mag
possible.
7
And so
and all
people
of
are
that,
very engaged
you
in that
felt it
across a range of
differently. But
industries.
this is
Scale continues to be incredibly important.
kind of doing it. See,
Businesses
yesterday was
broadly, I hear
quicker.
this from
You
CEOs
waited a little
continuously.
bit, and it's
I
much
just say the
smaller, but
elevated
feels like
level
yesterday.
of,
But now without the
of-
Mag 7
of
leadership.
dialogue is in a much different place than it was 3 to 6 months ago. And so we're encouraged. The metrics.
I mean,
that
if
we
you guys
have
are thinking the cost sketch, I mean,
backlog,
maybe it makes sense.
new
Because,
business
like I'm telling you,
opportunities
the numbers
are
are
up,
fucking good.
and
but
it
the
feels
market
like we're
is just
entering
not
a
taking
period
it.
of a higher
So
level of
I'm sure. I
activity,
think
and we're
people
seeing
want
that
a little
in the
bit more
accruals,
out of this.
that we saw last quarter, and as we enter this quarter, we're seeing a better level of accruals.
Tesla again.
What I would add, because we get this question a lot, trying to reconcile our performance and the change in our backlog with the ongoing uncertainty in the world. It is in times of uncertainty that clients typically turn to Goldman Sachs, given our long-standing leadership position, advising the biggest and most important companies on their most consequential transactions. And while there is persistent uncertainty, there is also opportunity. And what we're reflecting in our performance and our outlook is that we think that the clients that we're engaged with
You're a full
are seeing
supporter of
opportunities,
mushrooms.
and we're engaged in trying to help
Keeps you
them
off
execute.
opioids
Just
for
the last
years.
thing, Mike.
Well, I'm glad to
not
hear
to-
that,
not
and
to
I
beat
hope
the
you do
horse.
good. But
We said it in the
you have
script.
not commented
Announced
all in
M&A
the chat
is
except
up
to
30%.
promote mushrooms. So go hang
year
out
over
with
year.
your mushroom
Okay,
friends,
that's a
but
significant
I'm
move,
not going
and
to
it's
allow
higher,
that in here.
Now 15% higher than the 5-year average.
Yeah.
So there has been a move in
I would
activity.
have let him stay if
comes
he
in
had some
revenue
other stuff,
later,
but
but
he
that
literally
also
has
gives
zero other
confidence.
comments except for I love mushrooms.
And then coming full circle, as it relates to Goldman pursuing acquisitions,
here?
what would be the hurdle rate? If you dream the dream, what would you ideally like to pursue?
I think what I said before when I guess it was Betsy that asked the question, we are growing our asset and wealth management franchise, and there might be opportunities to accelerate that growth and the scale of what we're doing there. That's where our focus would be. But I don't have anything to add more specifically at this point, Mike. But obviously we're looking for opportunities to continue to scale and grow the positioning of that, asset management platform. It's a $3.3 trillion platform. It's very broad and diverse in what it does.
Okay, it's
But
7.
there's certainly opportunities
So top
to
of the
accelerate
hour
our
here.
scaling in certain
We've finally
places,
been here for
and
30
we'll consider
minutes.
those
Let me get
things.
you guys a checkup.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Steven Chubak with Wolfe Research.
Hi, good morning, David, and good morning, Dennis.
David.
Thanks for taking my questions.
You're welcome.
So, David, in response to Glenn's earlier question, you noted that you're still committed to reducing on-balance sheet alternative investments. Following the Fed's decision this year to apply more favorable treatment in DFAST for those types of activities, it appears to have meaningfully reduced the burden for engaging in alternative investments. I wanted to gauge whether you would ever consider pivoting from your strategy to shrinking the investment portfolio, just as you evaluate organic growth opportunities. Are these investments potentially ROE enhancing, just following the Fed's decision to meaningfully alter or change the capital treatment?
So on the broad strategy, never is a big word, Stephen, but we have no plans.
And then
we have
Tesla
no plans
started to come down.
to
Core Weave's still
change
going.
our strategy. I would remind you, and I know you're deeply aware of this, we still do use our balance sheet to seed funds in our asset management business, to co-invest in certain client situations where we think that enhances our client franchise.
Well,
But
email
that's
me
very
that
different
thing. If it's already
than
on
running,
market,
a
though, and
full-on
been listed,
alternatives platform on balance
I mean, that
sheet.
should tell you the
We've
answer.
pivoted away from that strategy. We think that as an asset manager, this strategy where we use some capital alongside, a broad management of other client capital is the right strategy. We're committed to that, and we're not going to pivot from that.
Nibix, or where's Nibis?
But your
Remember
point
yesterday they were
remains
at the
valid,
55.
Stephen, in that the strategy is driven by co-investing with clients to drive the growth of the fund business. But based on the changes that have been made, that on-balance sheet co-investment capital will be more favorably treated, we would expect, on an ongoing basis, and present less of a returns headwind to executing on our prioritized strategy.
No, thanks for that color. And for my follow-up, just on the magnitude of SCB improvement was quite encouraging. It appears that the bulk of it really came from more favorable treatment of atypical trading positions. I was hoping you can provide some perspective on whether you believe that the gains are durable. If you've done any additional analysis that would inform, I know you were asked about where you're comfortable running in terms of CET1, but just what you believe is durable or sustainable in terms of the gains that you realized.
That's a pretty big drop. It's only $5 though.
Yeah, so I appreciate the question, Stephen, and I understand the focus on this.
Ethereum's starting to move right now. Goldman picking up a little bit, but this has been a dud.
We have been executing on a strategy for a number of years that is less RWA dense. Your first question was specific to that. We've been executing on a strategy that is less RWA dense. And we felt over the last X number of years that we were making real progress on that. We were incredibly confused last year, when our SCB went significantly in the wrong direction. This year, we think we got meaningful benefit from the strategy we've been executing on for a long time.
Oof.
However, to your question specifically,
it's like 30
I
cents.
can't tell you why
like
because I don't have transparency, and I know you don't either, on exactly how the models work, why the models generated that, what the results were. In our advocacy, one of the big things that we're advocating for as the capital process is being reviewed, and there's a big meeting next week in Washington that we have, somebody attending, most of the institutions have attending, where there's discussion, around, how the capital process should continue to evolve. Transparency is a big theme. This should be a transparent process so we can plan, so you have transparency and understanding how we're going to allocate capital. And so also we have a system that's not just durable, but also can deploy capital into the system to drive economic growth. And the lack of transparency around this at the moment is something that I don't think is good for the system. And so I'm hopeful that we'll have more transparency, and there'll be a point in time where we can actually answer this question and tell you what impacted this. But at a high level, we know enough to know that we're running a strategy that is less RWA dense than it was. And we're going to keep the flexibility to adapt until there's more clarity on these capital rules. And I think we're going to get more over the course of the next 12 months.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Devin Ryan with Citizens JMP.
Thanks. Good morning, David. Good morning, Dennis. How are you?
Great. Good.
Good. First off, not sure how I feel about having an AI named after me, but excited to see this evolve. But we already touched on that. So I want to ask a question just about, David, you hit on kind of ranking in the top 3 now with 125 of your top 150 clients, and that's up from 77 in 2019. So you're really making nice progress on kind of that strategy that you laid out years ago. So just remind us on some of the structural differences in how you're covering these clients today compared to the past, and how important is just increasing capital to those clients versus just the way you cover them. And then I know there's a focus on the top 150 clients, but just these kind of evolution in coverage and how that's resonating, the opportunity to kind of employ that more broadly just across the franchise and just take more client wallet more broadly.
Yeah, thanks, Devin. I appreciate the question. I think there are a handful of things that we've invested in and executed on, over the course of the last years that have really driven our ability to gain these market shares. And it starts with One Goldman Sachs, and really, a change in the overall coverage
EU
philosophy
proposes
across the
100 billion
This has been
Ukraine
enhanced
aid,
over the last
and the
few years
Peach proposes
by the bringing together of
consistency.
global banking and markets,
Order!
which
What
is
up, Peach
activity and
Nation?
our ability to bring different aspects of the firm, together and to deliver them seamlessly for clients. And we continue to work on
Happy
doing that across the firm.
Wednesday.
It's been very effective.
That's what I'm talking
different
about.
operating ethos.
Good morning,
There's been
baby.
Significant behavior changes over the last 5+ years in the firm in terms of the way people think about clients, think about servicing clients, think about meeting their needs, and think about getting resources that clients need in front of them.
Proposal.
In addition, strategically,
bro.
and I know you're aware of this, we have made a conscious effort to drive our financing businesses. And when you finance clients, you create a connectivity with them that creates a virtuous cycle of more activity in your ecosystem.
Peach Nation, I
and
hope
so our
you see the
investment in financing
reminder.
our clients has also had a very, very positive impact on those market shares and those activities. And so, we're positioned well. We talk about the top 150 because that's
Dude, Roblo is insane. 115
of the business, but there's a much, much broader client footprint. I know you're aware that we cover about 12,000 clients in investment
People
banking.
used to make fun of me so much for
cover,
Roblox.
Thousands
but then they
of clients
disappear when it
across
goes
our
up.
trading businesses.
It's so weird.
And so we're constantly
You know what I'm
thinking
saying?
about
I don't know how
ways
I find
that
these
we can
people.
hold ourselves as
But then
an
I lose
organization
them.
accountable for improving
Hard.
client relationships, coverage, and therefore shares. And we're going to continue to make that kind of a fundamental pillar of our clients.
Oh, happy birthday, baby!
Against our plan.
Tom Lee, BMNR on the high.
That's great, David. Thank you.
Baby.
And then just
Happy
a quick
birthday.
follow-up
Talking about
on just the broader theme of tokenization.
Another year for
I
the
know
long
we're
term.
still waiting for some regulatory
Let it grow
clarity
with
here,
you.
but we'd just love to get some quick thoughts on how
No, I took the big
Goldman
position.
is
I
thinking about
took that
if
off
there's
the
an
table.
opportunity, how you're thinking about implications on
I actually
market
did that at the
structure
beginning
and
of this
even
year.
how
It was
you may
already
look to
up, and I had a
participate
good
once
net from
we
the
get the
covered
green
call,
light.
so I
Thanks.
was happy with it. Little did I know it would double up
Obviously,
again.
the legislative agenda that's putting, regulatory structure around stable coins and digitization is important. We're very focused on it. I think this market structure bill.
Okay, SPY. Goldman's kind of coming up. I see some Goldman plays. I just don't have the fucking headline.
We think there are.
That's what I'm saying. The Goldmans are decent, but it's not really
for us. Potentially around funding. We also think that the continued digitization of the financial system takes friction out and creates new opportunities. And so we've got a very significant group of people at the firm that are really deeply focused on watching the evolution of this. It's early to say, specifically where we're going to invest and exactly how this will play out, but we'll continue to keep you posted. And there's a heightened level of focus here inside the firm on how this will disrupt, change the competitive landscape, and create opportunities. And we're going to make sure we're well positioned to capitalize on that as that evolves.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Erica Najarian with UBS.
Hi, good morning. My first question is a follow-up. You mentioned that the ideal buffer to your CET1 minimums is 50 to 100 basis points. But looking at your current standardized of 14.5 and clearly your potential new minimum of 10.9,
my email is tradingfraternity@gmail.com.
Pretty significant buffer still. Implicit in David's earlier remarks is that transparency and a stress test is needed. But I guess what do you need to see either from the regulatory construct or anything else in order to work down that buffer? I got the thing.
Just send me the fucking address, bro. I'm not going to open up these PDFs and, like I'm saying, if the house is already listed, bro, and it's already been up on the market and no one's buying it, like,
and the details that underlie
I hate when people just send me everything but the thing that I need. He sent me P&L statements, all of this, parcel, but do you see what I'm saying? If they're not, just give me the real info. And if the agent on the deal is avoiding that, then that's your answer.
In terms of working down from our current position,
I don't need all the other stuff.
The ultimate implemented
seems like they're selling
minimum,
a story more than the
of
actual
finding
property.
The accelerated opportunities for deployment. David just went through a 1GS look at how we're improving the coverage, improving our holistic coverage of clients, integrating the provision of financing to enhance the overall relationship. We have tons of clients across multiple segments of the firm that would like us to support them more with their desire for financing. We have a very disciplined, risk-sensitive, return-sensitive allocation
this
process.
Shit's not clear, man. The address, the breakdown,
levels of
even there's no price. So this
That's
is
not
all.
to say there
It already smells to me.
around the firm
So get me that. Otherwise, I'm gonna pretty much ignore it at this point. I don't think
more
that's my
progress
deal.
with their clients. With this excess amount of capital, we can engage in driving the extra capacity that our clients are looking for from us, and accelerate some of those business activities.
Dude, MP is gonna have a flush, but then one of these days it's gonna. I like it a lot, dude. But so it's just the fucking that news is. I can't even wrap my head around it still.
Deploy where we can enhance client relationships.
APM again.
Capital to shareholders. Continue to advocate for more transparency, and hopefully get to a point in time where we have a very manageable and predictable equilibrium that supports both safety and soundness as well as ongoing growth across the economy.
Yeah, the only other thing, Erica, just stepping up at a much higher level that I think is important to recognize, and Vice
Will
Chair
you get a ban
Bowman
if I said I bought
publicly
MP?
About this. There are
so my brother, you remember I unbanned you recently and you sent me the email and I came and I gave you advice even though you were banned? You remember all that, right?
Which seems to be moving forward.
So did you not know why you got banned?
Discussion around GSIB and the calibration.
Like, do you see what I'm saying? Why are you even? I want to ban you right now for even asking that. I'm very disappointed in you. Why would you say that? You know the rules, bro. It's very clear.
A significant
so why are you trying? I have a monopoly on the plays.
Lack of GSIB calibration.
I will tell you MP. I told you about it yesterday. I told you about MP at $19.
The transparency around that, and that
so, but like I'm saying, why, bro? No, not your bad. Tell me why. I need an answer. Why do you think the answer would change if you know why you got banned? What do you think happened? Why do you think that would change by you asking me?
Around those three things, there will be more clarity.
I need to know. I need to understand.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Dan Fannon with Jefferies.
Thanks. Good morning. If investment banking trends accelerate and we do see, more M&A and issuance, can trading stay as robust as it has been, or do you anticipate some kind of moderation or slowdown within the markets business?
Dan, I don't have a great way to answer that or to speculate. What I would say is the following: our markets business is a very, very large, very diverse, very significant business that operates globally, that touches all aspects and all asset classes across markets. And one of the things we see, consistently, and I mean, you heard it in Dennis's remarks this quarter. There was strength in a bunch of areas, but there was weakness, for example, in commodities and mortgages. Next quarter there could be strength in commodities. It's a very diverse business, and I really think what drives the size of the overall wallet is growth and activity in the world. And you would really need, if you want to talk about the overall wallet and our participation in the overall wallet, you'd need a much more significant macro change. So an environment actually where there's a lot of investment banking activity, I still think is quite constructive for our markets business.
Thank you. That's helpful. And just as a follow-up, I'm just curious about how you're thinking about alternative fundraising within the broader wealth channel or more mainstream retail. We've got potential changes around alternative assets being added to retirement accounts. How are you positioned to capitalize on this opportunity?
Yeah, thanks for that, Dan. So this is something we've been very strategically focused on. As we don't run a wirehouse or a platform like that, but we have been building third-party wealth distribution partnerships very actively. We have a big team here who's been very focused on it. We've been active discussions around partnerships with others in the retirement channel, and we see this as a pretty significant opportunity. And one of the things that's just interesting to me, following the news, but with the news around, the administration weighing in on this, there have been a bunch of people mentioning firms that would benefit from this. I haven't seen Goldman Sachs mentioned in benefiting from this. Goldman Sachs will benefit from this. And so we're excited about the opportunity and extremely focused on it.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Chris McGratty with KBW.
Oh, great. Thanks for the question. In your prepared remarks, David, you talked a lot about building a sustainable revenue model, less volatility. If we kind of step back and think about the medium-term ROE that you've talked about, 15 to 17%, is that, I guess, first part of the question, is that still the right level given what's going on in the environment and then the regulatory environment? And two, if that is the case, what's going to be the driver, numerator or denominator from here? Thank you.
So first, Chris, welcome to the beat. Delighted to have you. We have been talking about our ability to drive the firm to mid-teens ROEs, slightly higher what you just quoted, ROTEs. What's going on from a regulatory and a macro perspective gives us a higher level of confidence in our ability to deliver on that.
I don't know if I was muted. Apple, though. Apple and then Alcoa. He was talking stable coins, and then you're right at VWAP.
In our asset wealth management business,
EU proposes increase of
continues to improve
130 billion for defense and aerospace.
Up the firm's overall returns, and our global banking and markets business is obviously performing, at a very, very high level at this point in the cycle. That will move around through the cycle, but we're very confident in that business's ability to deliver mid-teen returns through the cycle. And so it's the continued execution in asset wealth management that's uplifting those returns.
And Chris, just to follow up on it, I'm sure you see this clearly, but the returns that we've been generating have been with the quantum of capital that we've been required to hold. Excess capital both gives us capacity to drive extra activities with clients and also gives us capacity to run with a lower denominator at the same time.
Yeah, Trump just went off.
That is a dual
36
sort of beneficial
minutes ago, and then he's just retweeting
that is
a bunch
part
of AI shit.
And an accelerant too.
He might say something though now. He's active on Truth. Robinhood and Roblo again.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Saul Martinez.
Sorry, you broke up, Chris.
HSBC.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Chris. Did you have another question?
No, I'm just saying thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Saul Martinez with HSBC.
Hi, thanks for taking my question.
Greer says U.S. is losing advanced manufacturing along with basic manufacturing.
On the dividend and ask it a slightly
Apple, I got that in the bottom right. That's one of your only light runners today.
Or
again, it's helping Mag 7 a lot. Or Nvidia was right on the cusp, but they're starting to slip now. And then again, you just got some EU defense shit. That's why I got RTX up here.
How you see your own core earnings power. If we were to assume, for example, a 1/3 dividend payout ratio would imply, $12 a share or $48 annualized.
U.S. Greer China cumulative tariff rate is 55%.
But I mean, is that an overly simplistic way of thinking about it, or does it, is the dividend, can we draw conclusions about what it implies about how you're thinking about your own core earnings power today?
Yeah, I would say the following. Phil, to that question. the firm has enormous core earnings.
Okay, nukes are going up again.
We think we've built a more durable firm.
Equal weight is up. It's leading
revenue.
A little bit last time I checked.
We talk a lot about our durable revenue growth.
So barely. It's at 0.08. SPY's at 0.03. So it wants to go red. Nasdaq's already red. Everything else still holding up.
As we create
Let me get you guys
more
that
durable
check
revenue
up.
growth, and we continue to prove out the durability of our businesses, you could make arguments that the payout ratio.
So SPY, you
on
have
the
270
dividend,
green,
given the amount of capital we
229
generate,
in the
could be higher
red.
than it currently is.
Dow
It's
Jones
obviously
17
not
green,
near,
13 in the red.
33% at the moment.
And then SPY,
but,
274 green,
but
228 in the red.
We are comfortable
Nasdaq
with where
42
we are.
green, 59 red.
Our goal, and I want to emphasize this, is to have a sustainable,
Finally
consistently
got a
growing
lot
dividend.
there!
And that's a big reset from where we were because we had a very nominal dividend.
Amen.
So we're
Coin.
on that journey.
And then 8 p.m., whatever that was, Upstart, and now Wayfair, SPY, and VWAP.
I'm not going to speculate around payouts or other
Coin,
things.
yeah, kind of
other than
ripping.
to amplify our core strategy of building more durable revenues and growing the
What
overall
price would I
firm
buy
franchise.
Adobe? Bro, I asked you a question, and you just
Okay,
ignored me.
That's fair. And
So
that's
I'm going to
helpful.
stay on that.
Maybe I just quickly follow up on advisory. I get the reasons to be optimistic, and now it's M&A up.
I said it this morning, bro, because I had somebody. I have a couple chats who do this, and you guys have been following for a long time. And then you guys will get banned, and then you'll oddly interact with me and be like, I'm banned, and low key complain about it. But I'm just like, dude, I'm not. You keep violating the rules.
The revenue number,
so like I'm saying, bro, I helped you with your house. You were banned. I've forgiven you multiple times. I looked past it. Been very, very nice to you. Why do you insist on breaking the rules and testing it when you know what the fuck is going to happen?
What's driving,
MO and Philip Morris.
Much better results in
flushing cigarettes.
That
I don't know what it is. Is there FDA?
To your competitors.
Yeah, big flush on PM and MO. I don't want to apologize. I want to know why. Fuck that fucking apology. You think I'm saying I want to understand why?
It continues to be a leading franchise.
I'm treating you like a human. I'm being direct with you. The rules are clear. I need to fix this. So how? Why did you do that? Why do you keep doing it? What? Explain yourself. I'm not going to call it an excuse. I do want to just know the answer, though. It's weird. It's blowing my mind.
If we continue to execute, should be sustained. That has some quarters where we way outperform, and some quarters where we just outperform, by a little bit. This was a quarter where we outperformed more. But the strength of this franchise, the way we're positioned, the investment we make in this franchise, we're confident in an improved M&A environment. We're going to have leading share.
That's good, but don't post
and continue to work hard to protect that position.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Gerard Cassidy with RBC.
Hi, Dennis. Hi, David. David, you mentioned in your comments about inorganic growth, and I apologize if you addressed this and I missed it, but you talked about the high bar that it would have to, meet for you guys to maybe to pursue something.
Dude,
if
SMR
something comes
again,
up
and then whatever
you
Coin did, you got Roblo,
kind of
and then you guys have Robin,
that
and
high
even
bar,
Arc is coming
do you
up.
look at it from a dilution of earnings or tangible book value or return on net investment?
I don't know what the headline is on
Frame that out
MO
for
and
us.
Philip Morris. Goldman flipped. Right as it was
I mean,
looking good. I had that contract. I didn't play it, but I'm watching it.
Metrics, Gerard.
I'm glad we didn't.
And thinking about an acquisition. But let's start with strategically, what are we
Coin
trying
again,
to do
and then
business,
Shopify.
and how
MP
does
wants
the
to go,
business
but it
we're
might stay there
acquiring
for a couple
advance
hours.
the strategic mission.
It doesn't break.
And so, first and foremost, there's got to be a strategic fit in terms of things that we're prioritizing in the growth of our asset wealth management franchise. Secondarily, these are people businesses. You have to have enormous confidence in the people, knowledge in the people, the cultural issues, et cetera. And then, of course, there's financial analysis around that, which really gets to, what do you pay for it? This is why the bar is high, though, to doing these things, because to get all that stuff to align on a property
Watch
that's available
yesterday's Watchlist. We explained kind of what happened yesterday.
Got
why.
it. No,
it was
thank
a weird
you.
Effect,
and
no
as a
really
follow-up
reason.
question, your results speak for themselves on
This
the
has
strength
to be an
of
AI, right?
investment banking and trading. And in
Coin, Unity, Coin 52-week high, SPY is coming down a little bit. Again, SPY is actually at the red, so that means
what
your boy,
do you worry about as you
might
go
be next.
forward in view of,
Peter
putting
Thiel
up
is
very
taking
good
a stake
results
in
with all the
BMNR.
risks
Is that why
that
I had
we're
that crazy
seeing?
pop earlier?
What concern, is there anything that concerns you as you look forward?
Yeah, we saw it a little bit ago. It's already up 22.
Well, there are always things that concern us. Our job is to worry a lot about things that have a small probability of happening and make sure we're prepared, to navigate,
I don't know
in
why
those
you said
environments.
it came out to
The firm
test
has
the
an
water. I
extraordinary
think you're
focus
just
on
saying
risk
what you
management,
think I want to
and
hear,
we,
and I'm not looking for an
doesn't
answer,
matter how
brother.
good things are.
Like I'm
we'll
saying,
always,
I genuinely
focus
reached
on
out
risk
to you.
management and what
I'm
if,
proud of your
what
house
if
and
this,
what
what
you're
if that.
doing,
would
and I wanted
say
to help,
it's been a super
but
interesting,
you keep
highly
disrespecting me
uncertain,
in this community with
environment.
what you're doing.
And you just
So
look
I
at the
want to
last
know
quarter,
why.
the change
so
in
why
sentiment
did you
and
want to tell?
environment,
Why
policy
did you think it would change?
geopolitics,
Did you think,
just in the last
what?
3 months have been significant.
We got to get to the bottom of this. I'm not going to let it go. Just for you. Everybody else, I'll answer any questions. But anytime you see your name, I'm going to be a therapist. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
To absorb and navigate some of this policy uncertainty, quite well. But we're going to stay vigilant from a risk management perspective, and it's never a straight line. Never a straight line. And so, I'm sure, just as there was in this quarter, there'll be unexpected surprises in the next quarter and the quarter after that.
Carvana.
But we're going to be focused on our clients, focused on helping them navigate it. And when we do that, we take a long-term view. This firm tends to perform quite well.
Equal Wage is right on the cusp. It was leading a lot better in the morning, but we'll see.
There are no further questions. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the Goldman Sachs second quarter 2025 earnings conference.
That call sucked, dude. Like I say, bro, I have a contract I'm eyeing, and I'm like, come on, bro. Y'all had the good numbers. All you had to do is just say you're happy. They did it. So I don't know. I feel like Wall Street's still looking for something there. That could have been one. Other than that, though, a lot of like cash open, holding the range from like everything from like MP to some others. You got a couple names like still advancing, and then it's like 50-50. It's a weird breakdown between the Mag 7 leadership and not. So it's a lot different than the other day. So we will see, man. We will see. Can you shame him? No, I'm not trying to. I'm not like, you guys realize I'm not mad. I'm very like, I'm kind of curious. Like I said, and I don't know if you guys are like acting like, fake people, or if you're genuinely like kind of being oblivious to it. But like, for real, I've had multiple people, and then they'll like, Josh, I love you, even though you banned me. And they make it sound like I'm like, I was trying to like hurt them or do something. They're like, oh, you banned me, but I'm here. You banned me, but I'm here. But then right when I unban them, I notice they go right away to breaking the rules again. And I'm like, it's obvious, like, what happened. And then I'm like, wait a minute. So you're going to go do all of that, waste all of our time, act like really cute about it. And then, make, oh, I'm with you, Josh. Even though you did this, Josh, I'm with you. Even though you did. But then I'm like, all right, word. Then we try it. I'm like, what? This is fucking mind-boggling. So it's kind of funny. That's why I'm getting good entertainment. But I am going to ask you about it. Because I'm like, what's wrong with you? And like I'm saying, though, eventually you'll see the other Chads are going to get tired of it. So then I'll just have to ban you so we move on. And like I'm saying, I would love for you to be a part of it. But, and I do try. But yeah, y'all gotta do your thing and just follow the rules. It's in writing. I love things in writing because it's easy to follow. That's the beauty of it. CC Chemours, that's dumping right now, like in real time, 1.8. Crude oil inventories, draw of 3.85 million. Estimate was draw of 1.8. So check oil. You might get some movements here. Those seem like big enough numbers. Yeah, oil's coming down. Cushing 213 versus 464. All right, man. High ticker, it's all Ethereum, and then Tesla again. It's a lot of small cap shit, though. Hold on. You got ARK and a couple of others. Let me check. Remember I told you Trump was already gearing up on Truth Social. Solidifies position as AI 2 minutes ago. No, that's big. Swiss government deal with U.S. is waiting Trump sign off. So you know what that means, right? Check. Boeing. I don't know if Boeing even, I don't know if they do. They have Swiss Airlines, but I don't know if they're going to buy planes. But yeah, so Swiss government, people teasing that. That's not that big. Again, forgive me, my girlfriend, but the Swiss don't really matter when it comes. They own our stocks. We don't really care if they trade with us. But not bad. Like I said, watch Boeing. Maybe they do a Boeing dowry, huh? You know. And then Chatadonia. Like that. Tell the people that long-term order is back. I love the Boeing dowry joke. It's like kind of real, bro. Honestly, this is why I think the Middle Easterners love Donald Trump. Because he low-key Middle Eastern. Like, I don't know if y'all realize it, but he does shit that I'm like, my dad would do that. And like, he hella acts Middle Eastern, bro. Like, I know the dowry joke is just a joke, but like, tell me it doesn't track. Cause like, I'm telling you, he really do be throwing in a fucking 50 Boeings on every deal. And you show your commitment to this relationship. Show us that you are serious. With a Boeing. Yalla, yalla. So yeah, Trump kind of reminds me of my dad. It's really funny. No Tesla news. It's been up all day, man. It's done this several times. I mean, sometimes when Mag 7 doesn't have its leadership, your boy Tesla kind of takes it upon itself. And then when everybody does good, Tesla's like, I don't want to do good. Hasn't. Fed has been very slow. Inflation data has been fine. I think one of his son-in-laws is Lebanese. Yeah, you're right. Does Boeing need help selling? Yeah, bro. I get nervous going on a Boeing. Dude, Boeing has had the worst 10 years known to man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the 230 stock price and the fact that we all have to fly on them makes us ignore it. But they literally have had the worst decade known to man, if you really think about it. The press and just the poor actions, the failures, killing witnesses, like, bro, you name it. They have, bro, from one of the great American companies to just a fucking tin can death machine. So yeah, they've had a bad run. So it's good that they're coming back, and like, it's good to honestly that you have a president defending them. I don't know if I agree with that, because I think Boeing needs, a lot of structural corrections. I do love them, and I know the full entire history of Boeing in America is air defense or airspace and manufacturing. We've gone over a economic lesson on that, so it's actually very critical. And so I respect the history and I respect the company a lot, but yeah, they've Boeing's been weird. Just with all the bad events and the problems, and yeah, here we are. There is ways to filter flights, but like, you get to go to like 5 locations domestically. Most domestic flights are Boeing. Fed needs to get back to on curve where rates should be. Maybe they should help another company. Well, this goes back to Bretton Woods, because we could help another company, it's just very expensive. And then if you don't help Boeing, you're gonna empower everybody else internationally. Remember, Airbus was Airbus is funded by the government of the EU, and then America even funded Airbus for a little bit. Most people don't know that. Again, shout out to econ lessons. So it's kind of crazy when you think about it, but they don't want, like, if you let Boeing fail, you're gonna just wait till China makes a fucking plane. They already have one, but just, that's always the worry, but it's expensive. It's very, making planes is a very hard business. That's why, the real establishment of manufacturing of airplanes is a result of the government, internationally. And not just the United States, like even the EU and all of it. Again, what was it? There was in Breyer and what was the McDouglas? Most people don't know about McDouglas. So it's really, really odd, but we gotta love history. Am I gonna mention the Druze community in Syria? Probably not. The only thing I would mention related to the war that doesn't get covered is that from maybe like 2013 and even recently till today, Christians get slaughtered left and right in the Middle East and nobody gives a shit. So you guys want me to comment on a lot of things, but if that's what it is, I'll comment on that. And I don't put it in name. I just call it people slaughtering Christians and nobody saying anything. That's been going on for a decade. And especially when there's a Middle Eastern conflict and you think it's just Jewish and Palestine and this and that. They're literally, both sides are slaughtering Christians left and right. Nobody likes Christians, so, and at least in the Middle East. But yeah, so that's what I will comment on. Anything else, I'll leave that to you guys. I don't really like war. But shout out to all the people who, the C.S. Lewis and G.K. Chesterton. You should read that in terms of war and soldiers and what happens. And it's beautiful, but it's also, bittersweet. Hassett ends remarks. Yeah, so that's what it is. Good. I'm glad to hear. Because like I'm saying, most people don't ever talk about that, ever. And it's like, remember it happened too, like, there's like 20,000 Christians killed last year in one of the events, and like, crickets. So it's very odd. RH on the low. Uh-oh. That's $4, and then big volume down here, another $1. Row blow. My goodness. And then Boeing at the low, but wait till you get a bigger country trade deal. And China, we don't even know what China's gonna. Imagine when China puts out their order. And it's 7:30, Chad. So we've been here for a little bit more than an hour. Let's talk next pickups for the long term. Oh, dude, I was even pooping today. And I was like, maybe I should buy something. But, I keep reminding you guys. Even this morning, I reminded everybody because I'm like, dude, you were supposed to choose your frustration. And if you didn't, that's okay. You're just making it at a less optimal time. But, you do got to decide, and think from now till the end of the year, what do you think? What are you more concerned with? Are you more concerned with missing out or losing? Because that's what again, we're entering in. This is like the second half, but watch, you guys. Before you know it, we're going to be in the final stretch. Before you know it, it'll be September, October, and then it's the end of the year. So you got to think about that. But I like name, but it requires your portfolio. So it's very simple. Believe me, I want to buy shit right now, but I was thinking it's so foolish when I don't have a lot of cash. So it's funny, over the years, I've had so many people ask me for some sort of trigger. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, when it comes to the stock market, when it comes to trading, they've asked me for some secret. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I want just when this hits that, I do this, right? If this, then that. Everybody wants a rule. You know what I'm saying? I've had my whole life, every time being live on YouTube, all of it, everybody wants the secret. And they're always looking for a gauge. That's why technicals are so popular. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. Yeah, everybody wants a super secret indicator. Come on. Don't lie. You know it deep down. You all want that. And everybody has asked me. Some of you asked me for it when you met me. You just grew up. You moved on and you learned the game the right way. Everybody wants a super secret indicator. Yes, come on. Oh, I need this. What do I follow? Wait, what's the rule? What's the rule? What's my stop? Give me the stop loss rule indicator dividend. You're just saying words now. Right? So here's the deal. The irony, I was thinking about this. Bro, your cash level is that secret indicator. You get what I'm saying? It's a gauge. That's all. It goes above 20, go buy whatever the fuck you want. It's below 20, you don't have gas. You see what I'm saying? I have 5% gas in my tank. I'm waiting till, so even if I put half of it out now, I'm going to be depleted in the future. I'm thinking ahead. That's what you need to start doing, you know? Because think about it. You want to buy now. How did you get here, dog? You want to buy now because you didn't think about it earlier. So I want you to plan your shit in the future now. And that's why I'm saying, like, you have a gauge. So you all have a gauge. All of our portfolios are different. Right now, if your cash is above 20, why are you waiting for me? You should go be buying value right now. Take it. Your gauge is telling you, bro, you could buy now and be ready for the future. You don't need that much cash. But then again, some of you are sitting, you're fucking redlining on empty right now. And you don't, like me, I'm 4%, 5%. It's just not enough to, like, the gauge is telling me my desire, my greed, my FOMO, my eye, it's telling me to buy shit right now. And I want to buy some things, but the gauge doesn't, it's not smart. It's not wise. My gauge is too low. The cash balance it doesn't work. It's telling me, well, yeah, you could go buy, but if you're wrong or if something changes and it's there, we're not going to have we're going to play this whole waiting game again. I'd rather get the waiting away now, especially while everything is over gassed up right now too. And then we'll see. But that's why I'm saying, you have a lot of cash, take the value while it's still there. Otherwise, you don't have a lot of cash, it sucks, but if you don't have a lot of cash, you should have a portfolio that's up 30% right now while everybody's up only 7%. You see what I'm saying? So it's a win-win no matter what, but now you have a good gauge. Your gauge is your cash balance, and if it's on the low end, even if it's sub like 10% right now, that's kind of low. And if it's above 10, but then really above 20, you gotta start. You take the Pepsi, take the good names out there. And like I'm saying, we talked about a lot over from last week till today. Even though we're buying this property, I'm reminding you, dude, I'm still in the same strategy, and I got this other long terms, and I'm looking at the same exact names. You know, the UPSs, the Pepsi especially. That's been a big one recently. Haven't bought it yet. And then, you know, there's the healthcare names that we like, and there's good value that still exist, even some growth names. So you got 20% cash, don't even hesitate. You should be taking them right now. If you got more than that, you got low cash, I think you already did your work, and now we got to build up. You know, there's a time to harvest and a time to plant. You have low cash, you're harvesting. You have high cash, you should be planting. It's very simple. So that's what I'm saying. Don't overthink it. I've been saying this for months now, because if you just choose this and make your mind up sooner, don't hesitate. You're going to be better off. So, like I said, it's just less optimal now, because I was telling you this in the middle. I was telling you this at the bottom, and then from the bottom to the middle, and now we're back to the all-time high. So you got to figure that one out and decide, but the decision is in your cash balance, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm telling you, your cash balance is telling you everything. Your gauge is telling you, yo, bro, you should be shopping or you should chill. That's it. It's telling you, low cash, chill, bro. High cash, go, 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 go. Very simple. You can't find good bargains? I disagree. I think you're just being too, you're like, you remind me of my mom. Like, you want me to marry my cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like, your criteria for a bargain then is ridiculous. Because what do you mean I'm going to marry my cousin, Mom? You want me to go to Egypt, find my cousin, and then she has to be everything I'm looking for? You want me to go and marry her and bring her back? What kind, bro? You see what I'm saying? I'm like, Pepsi, dog. Pepsi. You want me to do Pepsi at $128 was what we were yelling, and it's still at a decent. I don't even own this one, but I'm just saying, like, you know, what do you mean, dog? This is it's adequate. You're right. It's not, dude. This isn't gonna be you make $1 million in a month. It's not a steal of the deal, but it's not the steal of the century. It's not meta, but it's adequate and it's quality and it's, you know what I'm saying? It's not. You're in the neighborhood on this one. You're getting a bargain without having to, you know, have a crazy standard and without giving up too much. Like I'm saying, even if you're wrong on Pepsi, there's still downside, but like it's a great brand. You know, we went over it on Thursday or Wednesday of last week, dude. I went over like 10, 20 ideas. I went over slick charts. This is one of those things, like I'm telling you guys, some of you were asking me stuff, whether it's banning or not, but it's like, dude, we covered this in depth, and there is some money to be made, so lock in, because we covered, dude, I had like 10, 20 ideas last week, and I'm telling you, they're solid. They're all adequate, above adequate ideas where, yeah, none of them are meta at $90, okay? But they're all like, yo, these are solid names, been around, will be around, profitable, you know about them, and they're at a discount on the year. Like, come on. Like, and they were solid. They're solid because they're adequate. Like, these aren't like ideas where we're stretching to the moon. We're not trying to turn small amounts into abnormal. Like, it's not forcing anything. And that's why I'm like, there's at least 50 to 100 out there right now, I could confidently say, of like good quality, solid names that you're buying, and they're not even pumped right now. And I like that, man. That's why I'm saying it. Just, you gotta go against the grain. Everyone's telling you buy NVIDIA right now. The beauty is my strategy. I'm telling you the same thing. My shit is not casting a shifting shadow. I'm not changing. I'm not flip-flopping. I have an easy strategy to follow. Our path is clear. You see what I'm saying? Now they're telling you to buy NVIDIA. They were just telling you to buy the euro after they were telling you to not buy everything and sell your dollars. Huh? You know what I'm saying? So you follow the same plan. It's easy. You go for the value, go against the grain a little bit, and you buy you're gonna feel weird buying this stuff that doesn't have the hype, but if it meets the criteria and it's good quality, bro, I wouldn't be mad getting a adequate good deal. And and watch, with due time you'll see the performance. Oh yeah, Pepsi earnings tomorrow, so this might be last call, or you'll get a better deal tomorrow. Low. When do you spend that 20%? Sir, right now. So if you're not understanding, sir, what I'm trying to explain is that in your portfolio, you have cash, uninvested money. That's what we mean by cash, not just cash in your checking account. So once you have, even it doesn't have to be 20, but once you're getting above a certain level, that's your, signal, your slight nudge telling you to start investing it. But then if you have less than like 10% cash, I don't think you need to be as forced about it. Depending on how your portfolio looks. Again, like I'm saying, we've been building for a while. A lot of people have similar portfolios. And like I'm saying, if you have low cash, there's a good chance you're up 30% on the year, or 20, right? But if you have high cash, that you could still be up, but then that means you probably didn't buy the same things, or you're kind of waiting. And I'm telling you, instead of waiting for perfect, you should be taking those values and having a high cash. Your cash is telling you need more equity than that much cash. Well, you don't need to, it's like you don't need to change it. It's not like it's pressure, but like, look, your zero cash is telling you the next time you have like oh, I have to buy this, your cash is like, no, you don't, bro. Your cash is your friend. It's talking to you. You guys get it? Maybe this whole Josh's schizo is an advantage. Maybe all my multiple personalities benefits. Because that shit is speaking to me. Do you guys not get it? I have a whole, like, my long term has a personality. That is my homeboy. Just like Jesus is my homeboy. My long term is telling me, it gives me a confirmation. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, I need to buy that shit right now. The cash is like, bro, you have 4%. Stop tripping. You don't. Why are you FOMOing? You don't need that. Cash balance is saying no, right? And then you're like, wow, I should go buy Pepsi. You have 50% cash. Cash is like, yeah, bro, let's do it. Let's run it. Yeah, what else are we going to do? You see what I'm saying? It's confirmation. It's speaking to you. Again, your growth in value, it speaks to you. What you have, it's telling you where you should be moving. It's telling you what you need. You have to listen to it. If you ignore it, it may work for a little bit, but if you ignore it long enough, you're going to end up in a position and you're like, oh, how did I get here? Well, it's by ignoring all of the little signals that you had along the way. Tesla again. All right, man. Even this SPY a little bit. So I think this is now Tesla. Even Goldman came up a little bit. A lot of things are just holding. Apple came down, but Tesla's doing really good. And Google's up now too. See if we could get Meta back up. So yeah, either some of the big Mag 7 that was like not, it was down. Now they're just like break even. And then a couple are red still. And then now you got a few leaders. So still like 50-50, I'm pretty sure. Dow Jones, 17 green. That got a little better, but that was already the leader from the morning. Them and Russell. NASDAQ 50-50. 50 green, 50 red. That got a little better. SPY 280 green, 215 red. So it's still pretty much the same. Ooh, Merck on the high. Boom. On what to buy? Well, listen, make it easy. You have a good model here, and even if life is difficult, do it on autopilot. You see what I'm saying? We got your back, Jiggly. And that's what I'm saying. The answer is don't let the whatever's going on, deal with it. And it may get worse. But regardless, take that money and we need to put it little by little in the right place. I will help you. You see what I'm saying? But we don't want to fall for the, because again, it's, you just saw too. You guys see it's liquid. Obviously, if we put it in the right place, it's going to be there. You ever need it, boom. I'm market ordering, I'm out, and it's gone in 24 hours. It'll be right there for you. You see what I'm saying? But we got, exactly, you want the clarity. I know the situation and whatever you're going through may be clouding other things, but don't let the lack of action manifest. I know it's difficult, this and that, but we're going to still put, again, a small, like I've been telling people, $10, $20. Lawmakers ask about firing Fed Powell. Nike downgraded, and then Musk AI in talks with Saudi for a human data center. And then I see von der Leyen, but yeah, you got a little, that's a huge red. Whoa. Trump asked lawmakers if he should fire Fed Powell. That can't be it. Because again, we had more shit on that last night. But yeah, there's a firing Powell statement coming out now. That's it. That's a fat candle. It doesn't make sense though. It's bullish. SPY might not like it, but think about it. Bonds will go up. It doesn't make sense. So fire Powell. What the fuck happens if Powell gets fired? You get lower rates. So I don't know. SPY could dump if people are going to take it serious. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if this news headline is real, the bond should catch a bid. You get what I'm saying? Let the equities dump. I'm not saying equities will stay up. But theoretically, if you're going to take firing Powell seriously, then you should take the long end of the curve going down. You know what I'm saying? Yield should get a bid. That's just the reality of it. He's not firing him early to put in a hawkish chair. You get what I'm saying? So equities might be sensitive to that. I think it's kind of dumb because we had this headline yesterday, but bonds should give you the answer if you want to have a reaction to that. And then, I don't know if you were here, Jiggly. I could email it to you, but someone sent me a house in Alabama yesterday. I called your name out. I didn't know if you were here. Let me see. I forgot the area it was in. Yeah, Trustville, Alabama. How far is that from you, Jiggly? I have a house. I found a lead. Somebody sent it in the chat, and they said they can't buy it because they have another flip. And I looked at it, and I was like, damn, this is actually, it comps pretty well. So it's at 232. I think it's worth 300. I think with a little bit of work, maybe even a little higher. I don't do you want, I could email it to you. I already forwarded it to see if we could have an agent on there to offer for the other Chad, but he said he didn't want it. So yeah, I don't know, because I know you were looking for a property there. But 230, it's a property with land. And like I'm saying, I think it has anywhere from 70 to 100 grand of equity. TLT's on the low now and SPY's up. So yeah, look, it's doing the reverse. That doesn't make sense. So yeah, you got that little I think it's Wall Street just pumping, big dog. Because yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Trump indicated he'll fire Powell, lawmakers say. So we had that report yesterday. So people were talking about that one yesterday. That's why I'm saying it's weird that you just sold off 2 points on the SPY. And then it's even weirder that bonds are getting clobbered off of it. And then Eli Lilly popping. Yeah, 3%, but kind of just ramped up there. Do I have any homes in resort types of areas? Yeah. Those are the Airbnbs. The Airbnbs are like that. And then now the farm, the Colt compound. And then are you guys ready for this? Do you know what I was told yesterday by Lending Tips? LT tells me this. He's like, bro, stop telling people it's a farm. He says it's not a farm. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, there's animals, but they're all gone once the people leave. And he says, he's telling me I can't raise a cow. He doesn't believe in me. And obviously, I need a guard dog, and I need somebody to take care of the property first. That is true. But he's like, stop telling people it's a farm. I'm like, it's a farm, bro. It's not yet. Exactly. You don't feel me, bro. I'm like, man, y'all fucking guys, a farm, dog. It's a farm. It may not look like it, but it looks like it, but it's a farm. Just because you take the animals, it's a farm. All right, you're coming back down, Powell headline. Like I'm saying, I think bonds have to be the snitch. I'm not buying it. Again, Powell may or may not get fired, but this is an old headline. You knew this yesterday. There was several reports coming around it, and like I'm saying, though, bonds should catch a bid off of it. I don't know. This is kind of weird. Oh, no, it's zoned for a farm. It's a literal farm. He's just telling me, he's like, he wants to do more building. He doesn't want he thinks my animal ambitions are very high. And he's right, I need somebody living there with animal experience, and I need a guard dog, otherwise the animals will get eaten. But other than that, I'm buying a fucking cow. Y'all, he said, you gonna make cold cuts? I'm like, yup. So y'all don't feel me, bro. I love it. And then did you guys see my video yesterday on Twitter? I'm a piece of shit, dude. You know what happened? Tell me why I found another farm. I found another one. I got kind of mad because I find this other farm and I'm like, what? I'm like, no way. And it's a little bit more expensive, but like, dude, these pictures, dude, it looks so nice. I was getting pissed off because I was like, what the fuck? I gotta buy another one? I was gonna buy it because I was like, no way. I was like, if I'm buying the other one, I have to buy this one. And then, dude, this, I'm telling you, it looks brand new. It's like 7,000 square feet. Like, it's crazy. It already has multiple units, already has a pool. And dog, I'm like, what? I'm like, no. Right? So I'm like, fuck it, bro. I get in my car. I get in my car yesterday. I'm like, nah, fuck that. I gotta see this. Because you gotta see it, bro. That's what I'm telling. I'm so glad that I saw it. Because, bro, it was the worst farm I have ever seen. It was such a catfish. I was trying to explain it to my girlfriend. I'm like, this is literally, bro, like, this is what it feels like to get catfish, bro. It looked like an alcoholic. That's what I was trying to tell my girl. Like, the house looked like an alcoholic. Like, it looked good on pictures, and then I get up to it, and it looked terrible. And then it had like a 2.5 mile dirt road. I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? It was the worst thing I've ever, and it was creepy. Bro, it was creepy. That was the thing I didn't realize about our farm. Our farm is not creepy. It's not. Because, dude, I was driving out to this, and I thought I was going to die. You know that? I really, really thought I was going to die. I'm like, no, bro. So, yeah, that one backfired, but I'm glad. So it made me more happy about what we're doing. But, yeah, it was terrible, dude. It was terrible. No, dude, I didn't, because I looked, I was like, what is this area? And that's why I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm down. Because I was like, man, this looks too good. It looked too good on paper. And they lowered the price. That was why, because I didn't see it before. Because Homeboy just dropped the price. $700,000. That's why I didn't see it before. And I was like, what? But then I was like, it makes sense. Nobody will buy this thing, dude. I just bought a farm, and even I vomited. And that's why I'm like, technically I haven't bought a farm yet, so God willing, but still, dude, it was terrible. It was terrible. No, bro, it's terrible. No service, no nothing. I didn't realize. I just, we got blessed, bro. Because that shit was creepy. I wouldn't, I'm going to go sleep at the farm day one. This farm, I wouldn't even go near it. The one I saw yesterday was terrible. Scary. All right, Spot just chilling. GLD, yeah, this little thing was Powell comment, but again, I need bonds to play along. Gold is playing along. That makes sense. See, gold, so bonds are gonna go up. Bonds are just fucking being contaminated by all of the Trump haters. Because I'm telling you, gold is reacting how it should. You see what I'm saying? Fire Powell, cut rates, ta-da, gold, that makes sense. Bonds should be up. Maybe not right now, maybe later, but like I'm saying, that makes sense in relation to the headline if you want to take it seriously. Brazil sent letter to tariffs to U.S. on July 15th statement. Brazil expressed indignation at announcement of 50% on Brazil goods. CEG Constellation. Okay, SPY's back up. Wait, bonds and gold though. If you, again, that's the biggest headline of the day, even though it's old. But watch the impacts of that. Like I'm saying, more gold or a bond bid. That could give you an idea. Everybody in the GLD. All right, Chad. On that note, though, Bitcoin's popping too. That makes sense as well. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fraternity. Real Coat News on Twitter. Good, more 20 minutes till. You're all nice. So today's flying by. Woo!
Right, how the tariffs, once they're finalized, will be absorbed by the consumer. There's a lot of geopolitical uncertainty. And as we're starting to see deregulation, we think that's good for certain subsets of investments and for the market. So a lot of volatility, but we continue to be positive. You know, we did hit a new high in June, and if you look historically, 12 months after hitting a new high, the market does tend to be positive 75% of the time, up on average close to 9%. So that's just one data point. But
if you take that all together, your view, and you give advice to clients, what is it to just stay? Is it to add exposure here after already such a strong run?
So our advice, which has been critical, especially given the volatility in 2025, has been and continues to be: review your strategic asset allocation. Make sure you are positioned to meet your long-term goals and that you can live with volatility, that you're not losing sleep or throwing up from all of the volatility, and don't try to time the market. That is a fool's game. We saw the worst trading day of the year and the best trading day of the year happen within 4 trading days of each other this year in April. It is an impossible market to time. Most are, if not all are. So make sure you are meeting with your advisors, you are reviewing your investments, you are reviewing your allocations, and then sit back and buckle up.
Do you think there's material risk of a melt up?
A melt up. I thought you were going to ask me just the opposite question.
Yeah.
I think the consumer is staying strong. I think high yield, we're seeing the 10-year kind of range bound 4 to 5%. I think the data is strong. And so I think it's really, really important to separate volatility from the economy and the market. And
so the stock market's not the economy, but it's especially so right now.
The stock market is not the economy, but the economic data continues to be strong. The consumer continues to be strong. Earlier today, we heard that you have to lift up the hood on the inflation data and look at the price of toys, the price of consumers, the price of furniture, which are all ticking up. So how that's going to peak and when that's going to peak, the suggestion was August. And we'll see how the consumer absorbs all of that. But as long as the consumer continues to be strong, and so far they've absorbed this tariff without pause, the consumer still has money to spend. Maybe they're being a little bit more selective on how they spend it, but we're not having a lot of concerns.
No, I mean, resilient was the word that Brian Moynihan used. But it's interesting, you like small caps and value stocks. Both have underperformed.
Yeah, well, Carl asked Jim about that this morning. I was so happy to listen to that. And I think we continue to favor small caps. We have all year. We've seen them come back a lot since the post-Liberation Day low of down 20. It's now trading in positive territory. We think that has been delayed because the cuts have been delayed, and rate cuts will benefit disproportionately the small cap space, as will deregulation. An increase in M&A activity, an increase in IPO activity, that will benefit the small cap space. So we do continue to be slightly overweight small caps as well as international and emerging markets.
And value also kind of that as the market broadens out. It needs cuts for that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw broadening out. It's taken a little bit of a pause. But again, we think deregulation will benefit value sectors like energy, like financial. So we don't think it's reversing. Some people might say, well, the Mag 7 is up 46% since post-Liberation Day lows, and the market's up only 25%. But they forget the first part, which was it was down disproportionately. So it had a lot more to come back, up, I think, around 3% year to date is a subsector.
Have the developments in crypto forced you to change your view on Bitcoin or Ethereum, or some of this policy getting codified or trying to?
We don't have exposure in my client portfolios to crypto, to Bitcoin. I think, like you say, it's constantly changing. We get a lot of questions about it, but how to reflect that in their investments, we don't have a clear view on that right now, and we think there are.
But notice the gold, the Bitcoin, now the bonds. Bonds are still a little held down, but if that goes up more, then you're seeing. It took 5 minutes. They're interpreting the Powell as it should be. Like I'm saying, that's a bond effect, bro. I don't know where everybody was getting these other ideas. So yeah, let's see. And long term, simple as that. long term. Well, dude, I don't know why I've heard people say that. Like, and again, I mean, I've been saying this for months now, and just, you know, look at the data. But you know, there people were seeing the claim that we got like $100 billion in tariffs, and they're like, you tax the consumer, and it's like, well, your prices have came down. So, what does that mean when we were not making the money and you were paying more? It blows my mind, but either way, eventually it will. And like I'm saying, I think the most confusing part that we're going to get into is that we may have inflation, but it's not going to be because of tariffs. It's going to be because of money supply. And that's where I think it's going to get really confusing. So kind of think 2022 and some of the trauma we had there. Oh, legal 10! What? What is your occupation? Horn, let's go, baby. Woo! Amen, amen. That's what I'm talking about. That's new right there, bro. Amen. And blessings. And some of you got blessed too, so there you go. Look at the Chaz. For HSA, like tax-free. I mean, if you're Canadian, I don't know if you buy U.S. stocks, but I like the same strategy we got going on. But if you do have tax-free accounts, 401ks, IRAs, it's good to put dividends, because then you reinvest the dividends and then you'll get a tax-free benefit. If you're interested in a stock, buy one share and watch it. I disagree completely. Like 1,000%. You want to know why? Because it's going to teach you, and you're going to develop the habit of breaking the rules and not thinking before you buy. Ta-da! So be careful with that. Don't just buy to buy. I want, when it comes to the long term, if it goes in, it doesn't come out for minimum 10 years. You cannot change your mind. So ask yourself, why am I buying? You have to really decide, yeah, I'm committed to this. So although I see what you're saying, and like, yeah, I agree that it's better to do nothing and just sit there, but you don't want to teach yourself to bad rules and bad habits, you know, because when we buy it, and it's minimum 10 years. I don't want you to train yourself to buy, not think, and then, oh, I want to buy something else, let me sell. And then before you know it, that's not a long term. And then the lines are blurred, and then, you know, we might just throw options in that account next. Well, technically, we don't have the farm yet. So, and so it might, I don't know, man. We have a farm, but we don't. So God willing, you know, we still have one more step. Did I get it? Number one, baby. How do you guys like the leaderboards? Is it distracting, or because I think I could turn it off? I didn't know we even had it until the other day. It just popped up. Yeah, man, I'm telling you guys. And that's where, like, if I could really genuinely encourage you all, I hope you realize any of this propaganda I give you about following rules, it's for you. Like, you guys get it? Like, where you're like, I need to get better at the rules. Like, dude, amen. Everybody does. We all do. We all have to. And I'm telling you, you want good rules that you could rely on, and then you want rules that you're actually going to stick with. And it's a world's difference, bro. So make sure that you are building that habit, because it's for you. It's going to be for you in building your own discipline. That's why, like, I don't know if y'all think I'm your dad. I'm not. I don't know if you think, like, do you think I want to correct you? I'm not. Do you think I'm trying to reprimand you? I'm not. I'm telling you, the rule, okay, another one. Hold on, Rubio, we are worried about violence. That's not it. Another big red, this time bonds down. Trump likely to fire Powell soon. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, White House official, Trump spoke to... This is old. You guys realize all of these headlines, exactly the same, came out yesterday. I shit you not, even during the day and after the bell. Yeah, well, listen, the play is bonds and then gold. There's no question about it. But I'm telling you, all of this is old from yesterday. But it should be, yeah, go look at yen. Yen popping, that's the bonds. This goes to show that our bond market is really fucked up by the vigilantes, because gold, Bitcoin, yen, they're all responding to Powell getting fired. But the bonds are dying. That doesn't make any sense at all. Or check SHI. SHI might be the one then, if it's not TLT. But yeah, you got big candles. This is really odd, though, you guys. Because I'm telling you, it's old news. This is Wall Street. And now, look at SHI now. Fuck, I just had to say it. Oh, I love you. All right, I'm explaining it in the stream alert. I'm telling you, he has to really get fired, and if he is really fired, then it has a certain effect. But I think a lot of people are misinterpreting that. So which one is it? But yeah, gold, Bitcoin, and then SHI. Literally, I said it, and then it reacted. That was pretty funny. Let's see. Oh, these are fucking expensive. Yeah, they're really expensive, but I think gold is going to be the play. I don't know if it's actually... Again, this is old, and then you're closer to Powell leaving naturally than firing him. But like I'm saying, do you look at my thought process? I don't care if it's real or not. I don't care if it happens or not. All that matters is the consequence. The consequence is that rates go down. Why do you look at gold, look at Bitcoin? That makes sense. That's why I'm like, yo, they're tripping, dog. TLT has so many billionaires fucking with it that it's not, that's the only one not reacting. And then, like I'm telling you, SHI and all of that started to move, but that's what it should be. But gold is going to be the play, probably. Which one? Oh, I had one. All right, SPY dumping, you can go for this SPY, but I'm telling you, I think gold is the answer. I'll make it very easy for all of you, not a recommendation. But I think gold is within a couple dollars of the high, or maybe a couple hundred. But that would benefit. It could capture the yen. Yen could be another play too, but gold is high, but gold is at least reacting. You see what I'm saying? The real answer is TLT. It's TLT or SHI. That should be the play. But you got too much crowding, you got too much fucking noise going on. You see what I'm saying? But gold, Bitcoin even has a lot of noise. I don't like high gold prices. Yeah, but I do think in this situation, gold is the winner, temporarily. So let me see. I'll go for this. I'll see if I can hunt the SPY, but I have a gold play now. But that's all I care about for this. And like I'm saying, you don't need to fucking play the game of whether or not he's getting fired. I want you to foresee the reaction. You get what I'm saying? Let them argue about it. I'm telling you, this headline is fucking old. It was all day yesterday. We had all of these. We've known about the renovation shit too, but what really matters is the reaction. If you fire Powell, the rates come down. Next guy is going to be a dove. So if he's a dove, that has a distinct effect on certain assets. You see what I'm saying? So that's all you should be caring about, not anything else. I do think it is FUD, but that's why I say I think gold is the easy answer regardless. But yeah, that's crazy. It brought this SPY down 4. But remember, we were talking about it, man. I was just telling you, everybody is getting bullish, right? And then we talked about seasonality. I literally told you, be cautious yesterday. So the fact that Wall Street is fucking dumping you on a BS headline, you should have expected it. But now I'm telling you, the answer relies in the outcome. If the news is true or false, all that matters is the outcome. Mexican president to visit Canada, or Canada to visit Mexico. TLT should be in the play, but look, TLT is doing the opposite of what it should be doing. I think you have too many billionaires and vigilantes in there. That's what I'm saying. It's not, but then SHI is moving exactly how it should. So everything except the long end reacted exactly how it should have. You see what I'm saying? You don't think that's weird? So yeah, you fire Powell, get a dove, this happens, then that, right? But the only one that didn't go up was TLT. The yen popped, Bitcoin popped, gold popped, short end of the curve popped. Only thing that didn't was TLT. What does that tell you? I'll let you decide. Don't listen to me. But that's why I'm like, all right, unfortunately, I think you know the answer, but this one's going to be a little stubborn because there's too many hands in that one. When does this weekend? Long end is correct. The biggest move should be yield curve steepening. I just disagree. Because, I mean, hear me out. If you fire the guy who doesn't want to cut after saying rates should be at 1%, and then you're going to hire a loyalist, do you really think that the yield will stay up? Like, you guys get what I'm saying? Like, come on. We're talking 200 basis points of cutting demanded by the president. And you think that the long end should stay at the worst level in 50 years. That just doesn't, it doesn't make sense, man. I can't buy that. That's why I say I just disagree, unfortunately. Stocks are different. Stocks don't matter, bro. That's what I've been saying all year. How many times have I told you bond market, equities, ignore them. They're not connected right now. You know, some days they will be, but right, that's how we got up to all-time highs with 5%. So that's why I'm like, this isn't it's exactly, firing a Fed chair could be bad for sentiment, but it's good for bond yields. Because I'm telling you, if he gets fired, you get uncertainty, but I am pretty certain that whoever comes in is going to lower the rates by at least 100 basis points. 200 if they follow the president's order. You see what I'm saying? And that right there is 50% of the current yield. So to assume that the rates would stay sticky, I think you're biased at that point, or you have $1 billion on shorting it. You see what I'm saying? It does. And then look at gold, look at silver, look at Bitcoin, look at the short end of the curve, go down the list. They're all reacting like that. Again, equities will be the loser, but I don't think the long end would be the loser in that situation. Let me see. That's okay. That's a good answer. That's the best answer I've heard. Long end scared of inflation. That would make sense. But I think that's paranoia. That's fear. But I could agree with that. That I would give you a good point for a counter argument. The other one I can't agree with. Because then now, like, you see what we're saying? We're looking ahead. Welcome to Wall Street, boys. You see what you're not looking at what just happened. We're looking advanced, steps ahead, right? So he's going to cut whoever comes in, whether it's true or not. But then, like we're saying, rates should be a lot lower. That example saying that, okay, maybe the long end is worried that if the new guy cuts 200 basis points, you're going to get massive inflation. That I believe. That I could get with. But I disagree that the rate cut will cause that much inflation. You know why? Because after it happened in September, you only went up by 0.2 and then it plummeted. So I'm more worried about money supply in the rate cut. But then again, your point still remains. I can agree with that. That would be the only justification. But I don't know if it could justify this much to rates going high on the long end. It could be fear of inflation due to the lower rates. That makes sense. The other one I can't agree with though. I hope you see why. Oh, MP? The government? Come on, MP. My player. MP. Where I'll be right is it cuts and it lines up with significant slowdown. I disagree. Like I said, I agree with the other dude more than you because I think you have an assumption. You're holding an assumption that the tariffs are going to cause inflation, it seems like. Or you're having like the fear inflation. Like I'm saying, we literally cut rates and it didn't come up. But I don't think you need to. You could cut rates, and even if the market doesn't have to slow down, I don't think you're going to get inflation unless it's money supply. You see, so again, I see the other need for it, but with a worry of inflation, but that's it. Well, the dollar is, we'll look at the dollar when it settles. Because again, the yen. So that's why it's hard to tell. Dollar was up earlier, but like the yen is reacting like the long end. So the yen is bringing the dollar down, I would argue. Yeah, the 2-year took it. 2-year loved it. So Shy did go. Gold's still kind of up. No follow through, but gold is still holding. Or I found, yeah, send it. Or it could just be tax shit. People will transfer properties sometimes at weird prices for that purpose. Well, the market doesn't, well, you got to realize that's a very uncertain thing. So that's why I'm telling you, equities going down on this headline, whether it's true or not, that makes sense. Because you got to think about it. That's not a good thing. So believe me, I don't agree. Like Powell shouldn't have done what he did before the election. Powell has been weird. Other than that, he did a very good job. You got to realize, abruptly firing your Fed chair, that does not brew confidence. You know what I'm saying? That is not, that's not like, that doesn't make you feel good about what's going to happen next. Holy shit. Trump has drafted letter to fire Fed chair. Now we have another source. So this could either be a rumor, but they're saying they have a drafted letter already. That's a development. That's the new news. That's what makes this new now. That did not exist in the last 24 hours. If that's real. I cannot confirm it. Now look at the bonds. That's fucking batshit. Like I'm saying, that's very, very surprising. For many reasons. But it's serious now. But now you have if there's a real letter already drafted, that is a new development. That right there, we just got real close. Now it's in play. I can't confirm that. It says New York Times. I don't trust it. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. You guys are all here right now. I am reporting this in real time. You are probably hearing this faster than anywhere. So hear me out. I cannot confirm any of this. These motherfucking liars, I don't know if they have the letter or not. If there is a letter, that is a real escalation. A real drafted letter by the president, I think that is an escalation. If that is, if they're taking yesterday's news and throwing in one well-timed lie, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? So just think about that. And like I'm saying here, if there is a letter that is drafted, Trump waived a copy of a draft firing letter to... Okay, hold on. See? They're coming out with it. They're saying he waved around a letter. That's bullshit, dude. So the story is that Trump was talking about firing Powell and waved around a paper, and now New York Times is saying that he drafted a letter. That's where we are right now. Okay? So like I'm telling you, if he really drafted a letter and there is a legitimate letter drafted to fire, all it needs is a signature. That is a severe escalation. If the motherfucker was just waving around a paper talking shit, I don't know. Okay? So again, bear with me. We're getting this all in real time right now, but this is probably one of the most serious things. Again, whether or not you fire the Fed chair or not, I can't tell, bro. But like I'm saying, use the signals, bonds, gold, but bonds are kind of shitty. Gold and yen and everything else might be able to guide you. And he happened to have a paper in his hand. It's very serious, though. Like I'm saying, hopefully you see my reaction, because I was telling you, right when all this was coming out, all of it old. You tell me there's a drafted letter. That's new. I never heard that. So that's taking it one step closer. That's like wiring the money to the bank account to buy the house. You see what I'm saying? If there's a real letter, but like I'm saying, I'm telling you what I'm hearing. The way it sounds, I can't really confirm it. I don't know if there legitimately is a letter. That's what the New York Times is saying, but they're saying he waved around a copy of a paper while talking to lawmakers. So they have two sources, but that's it. Yeah, Fed futures are going up now. Rate cut futures are going up. So my logic is correct. They're trading money on it now. So it just, again, TLT is still a little weird. TLT, I still think that's incorrect, but I like the whole inflation worry thing. That I could buy. But generally, like I'm telling you, I think the logic remains. And then while you guys are all here worried about the market and then watching us, be ahead of it, let me remind you to buy a membership. Why should you buy a membership? Because we're going to go to Philo in an hour and a half. And now, since you're worried and don't like to listen, you're going to buy the membership, but you don't need a membership for Philo. I'm just trying to take advantage of the situation and get paid. Okay? So yeah, it's all free, but if you want to buy a membership and feel FOMO'd while the SPY is red, feel free to. Feel free to. She's like, what? I'm so confused. Are you telling us what you're doing? What? I'm not. What? Yeah, do a push-up. Woo! JP Morgan dump. All right, see what happened with gold too. But you can play equities. I don't want to touch the SPY though. Like I'm saying, equity answer is easy, but I think you're going to get some really good ones from the, again, the gold and bonds if this really does materialize. You recently bought one? Good, baby. Thank you. I love you. I don't know, man. It's weird. It could be legit, you guys. Like I'm saying, if they drafted it, that's serious. Make no mistake. Just like when I saw the tariff thing, a drafted letter is serious, you guys. But I just, again, unfortunately, our source is kind of shitty. And the way they're reporting it, it's, we don't know. But like I'm telling you, you could have made a play on gold right away. So if you feel like you're going to miss out, you already know where to be looking right now. It's gold, it's the yen, short end of the curve, and then long end once everybody tags along. And fucking gun lock coverage is short. Lower rates should be good for stocks, but this is a very uncertain situation. Again, although I don't necessarily disagree with getting rid of Powell per se, doing it in a fashion of firing him that does not brew confidence. That is not good. That does not leave you in a position. Bro, that's like your parents getting a divorce tomorrow, you know? Whether you are old or young, you're going to have to deal with some things. There's a little bit more uncertainty in your life now. You know, so firing the Fed chair does not really occur. I don't even know the last time a Fed chair was fired to give you context. So that's not an unserious thing. That is not something that makes you feel solid about all-time highs. Well, it could threaten Fed credibility. It could threaten a lot of things, you know? Okay, he's doing it, bro. Holy shit. Trump plans to fire Powell before August 4th. No, hold on. Let me double check this. I'm getting another one. Oh, I thought it was a Truth Social. No, but I see another report. No source behind it, but it's saying he plans before August 4th. So now they're putting a date on it. Bro. It's crazy. I didn't think he'd do it. Like I was telling you, bro, you're closer to Powell just leaving, but then Powell is costing you like $700 billion. And that's a lot of fucking money, but still. This is wild, dude. And then we don't even know right now. Like, let's be real. I don't even know if there's really a draft or not. I just don't trust them, but if there is a draft, that is a serious escalation. Trump will likely fire Fed chair soon, CNBC. So mainstream is picking this shit up now. Like I'm telling you, the latest report I just got was August 4th. I got a date on it. I don't know, but I don't have a source behind it. This is crazy. He can do it. It was what I told you guys a couple weeks ago. Up until Powell lied before Congress, there was no cause to fire him without looking like a jackass. But Powell lied in front of Congress. And then the renovations are weird. Like I'm saying, it just oddly, that is it. But on paper, he didn't do anything worthy of violation. Like I explained this to my mom. Like I was saying, she laughed, but on paper, there's nothing. Canada to lower tariff quota levels from 100 to 50% for steel products from non-free trade countries. Introducing rate quota of 100 of 2024 volumes. Tariff will apply to imports above those levels. So you got Canada news. Did he lie? Yes, he did lie. That's what I'm saying. He had 2 chances to correct it, and he said it was categorically false or something like that. He said it was a miscategorization, and it wasn't. And they asked him if he looked at it and had an updated view, and he said yes. He said nothing. It's the same thing, and it was false. So, like I'm saying, I'd like Powell, you guys. I really do, and I think he did a great job. It was weird when he cut before the election. That was odd, unprecedented. You're not supposed to do that. And I told you that in real time. Some of you did not want to agree with that. But looking past that, the only violation he did was that lie in front of Congress. That's it. That's the only thing worth the cause. And then you could argue about the renovate. You know the building is $2.5 billion. You know that is one of the most expensive buildings ever by the government. To put it into context, JP Morgan, this is what Pulte tweeted out. JP Morgan's new Manhattan skyscraper costs $3 billion. Some of the biggest skyscrapers in Manhattan are not even worth $2 billion. So that's the weird part about it. But the fact that there was a lie on record, that was the only thing that Powell did wrong. On paper, worthy of firing, or that could give you cause to do it without the president violating anything. That was the only way, because he lied in front of Congress. That's the only thing. Other than that, you had no just cause to fire Powell. Zero. Yeah, everyone was talking Hasid this morning. The lie, yeah. I showed you guys this last week. You guys kept asking me, and we've covered it many times. I covered this weeks ago, and I was showing it, and I played the clip several times over, and he had multiple chances. He fucked up. It was weird. It was very odd. You could even argue that Powell just is tired of this and wanted to leave, so he lied about the most trivial shit he could think of, because it doesn't make any sense. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. He lied for no reason, and this guy has been 100% a sniper on the stand. Yes or no? Put Powell in front of anybody, all the cameras in the world, everything. That guy has never slipped up like that, ever. And you're telling me on the fucking Renault, that's the one he lies on? Are you serious? Yeah, bro, he's been there for like 9 years, and he hasn't done anything. And that was the one. That's why I was like, it's weird. Because up until that moment, I couldn't, as a Trump supporter, I couldn't tell you there was a legitimate cause to fire Powell. I couldn't. I love you, Donald, but there's no reason to fire Powell. You had zero legitimate reason up until June 25th when he lied on the stand. And then now it opened up this Pandora box of this fucking renovation and the money and all of that. J&J, again, they had earnings. They actually have good volume coming in right now, too. And then SPY, you're back to the second dump. Well, this was kind of the second dump. You're like right in the middle. Okay, gold's starting to come down, and then see what the bonds do. I mean, it did. You could make him look better. You did it on purpose. That way, Trump gets to get rid of him. Powell could leave, looking like a martyr, and that he got fired, and, standing on the whole cut before election was still the right choice, Win-win for both sides in a weird way. But, yeah, it's all weird. So it's hitting the wire now. Trump is firing Powell, WSJ. So, yeah, it's hitting everywhere, you guys. There might be a draft document. Because now even mainstream is reporting it. So they may have gotten their eyes on it. Buy 10 years. I don't know. The 10 year is weird. I think short gold or short the yen, if you want to fade it, or the 2 year, because rate cut odds took a bid. But otherwise, I think the bonds are going to do a weird move on the long end. The long end is really weird. That was the only thing not doing what it was supposed to. And as you see, even everyone trying to argue why or why not, that's the only one that's weird. So if you're looking for a fade, double down, a reversal, it's going to have to be the gold, the yen, or the ones that actually responded in the moment. It was a trial balloon. They wanted to see the reaction. Yeah. Hey, you know what? You're right. You're right. You are right. Trump's going to do something else now. Because that's not the reaction they wanted. You see what I'm saying? Because they want the bonds. Every time we get to the danger zone, fucking Bessent and Trump are pulling something out of their ass. Every time. You guys don't think that's weird? Once again, TLT. Yeah, they pull something out of their ass. And that's why I don't think that's the reaction they wanted. Because, like I'm telling you, the bonds should have got a bid. We're talking 200 basis points on the new guy. Yeah, it doesn't... I think that was a trial balloon. Yeah, I think you're 100% correct. That you're going to get the real headline, and it's going to be remixed. It's to produce a bid on TLT. That's what I think. Uh-huh. Howard! It didn't work, Howard! They keep selling up. What is TLT? Can we fire Larry? Put Larry Fink in jail. And gun lock. Howard, it's not moving. Howard, we said we'll fire him. It went lower. TLT, he wants it under 4. That's what I said at the beginning of the year. Under 4. He's going to talk 2 and 3. He's lying. He wants it under 4. That's it. You could live really good under 4. But, yeah, I think they want TLT to go up. That was that's a very good comment. Shout out to Chad. You saw a shadow Fed being propped up. I know. It's like the guy who watched every single Fed video for almost 10 years was telling you everything in real time, and then he would get banned and silenced for it. Oh, up until now. Weird. So weird, and we lived through it. Remember transitory? Oh. This is a trip, dude. I feel you, though. I understand what you're saying. I'm just throwing in my little jab. But it's kind of crazy. I can't believe this is happening. I think TLT is going to be the play, but you got too much there. Honestly, that might have just put the bond vigilantes on notice, but it's really weird. Again, we could argue about it. We could talk whether it's inflation worries or not, but that being said, I could definitely tell you something's weird with it. It's brewing. I don't know what, though. But like I'm saying, just how this is playing out, the seriousness of it, actual new update, you know, it's kind of crazy. Trump polled lawmakers. That's not even, dude. The other headlines are crazier because now they're saying he's open to they're walking it back right now. That sounds like a walk back. I see that. Very, very weird. Gold law. I mean, that's exactly what I did. But again, TLT should catch a bid. I need you guys to understand that logically. Then we'll get into the inflation debate and why it's not. You know what I'm saying? But in a normal world, TLT should be ripping. That's the reality of the situation. But it's not. And there's reasons why. And we'll get to that. But and I did. I acted on gold I didn't touch TLT yet. I'm not going to. I don't think you should either. But you'll find we will eventually. But for now, just understand what's at stake and what the impact is. And, you know, it's a big change to the Fed chair. And that it's abrupt, it's wild, unprecedented. And then the next step is what is the impact on the bond market and fixed income and rates. And that right there, it's going to have a real reaction and then the projected reaction. You were able to weasel out profits on that weird shit. Nice, but why are you telling us? You know, I was just in many conversations today asking people why. Just asking a lot of whys. Why? Why would you tell me that? Why would you tell 7,000 people that when the rules tell you not to? You can retract it, but I want to know why. Tell me why. I'm asking you guys why. Why? Why with grace? Why do we act like this? Why when let off the hook, why do we do this? Why when we have in writing, why do we choose to not? I need to know why. Help me help you. Tell me why. Wow. Crown Prince of Bahrain.
A fantastic ally. And anything they needed, we helped them. And anything we needed, they helped us.
You wanted to share,
and
but
we're
why
did
you want to share?
about a lot of different things, including
why did you want to share it? Why did you want to
most
share it in a
perfect
place
military maneuver
that
that
asks for
anybody's
you
seen
not to share
probably
it?
in 50 years.
And why did you want to share it if you knew that this was my reaction when I've reacted like this to everybody for the last 7 months doing this?
And
why?
it was obliterated.
Why?
I use that term to say, well,
why?
maybe
Why?
that's too much.
Why?
Turned out it was more than
I
obliterated.
need to know why. You
can't
need
go
to know
back.
why too. We need to get to the
we're
source. This is
just
live,
really going to talk about some things, including trade. We're going to be discussing trade. We do a lot of trading with Bahrain. And we're going to have lunch after this, but we'll take some questions. At first, I'd like to ask the Crown Prince
I helped
to
you
say a
hit
couple
plays.
of
You
words.
wanted to share. You should have gave me money. You didn't. You actually
he
didn't
also
share.
has a father who's
You're
living
now
and
taking
well
away
and
from
doing
every 7,000 people's
fantastically, as I
experience
understand it.
because you're the
Somebody
fifth
who's
person today
respected all over
that
the Middle
I've
East
gone
and
through
all
with
over the
this.
world.
I'm not banning anybody. I'm just going to keep asking you guys why.
Thank you, one and all.
Why the fuck
It is
would you do
a great
that?
honor to be
Why?
here on this fine morning to put into action the relationship that exists between our two countries. We will be discussing security issues, we'll be discussing trade and investment, which is very important. We're very happy to be announcing $17 billion worth of deals that are...
This is Bahrain. Why does he
United
sound like
States.
fucking
And this
Carney?
is real. This isn't...
It's real money.
These aren't fake deals. These are real deals.
They don't have to borrow the money.
We don't have to
But watch
borrow it.
Boeing.
It's coming in. And it only builds upon a legacy that we're very proud of. We have had a relationship in the civil side between our two countries since 1893 and formally since 1948. So may it long continue, and we look forward
They
to
don't
many,
want
many
recognition. I've
more
only
years.
given people negative
Thank you, Mr.
recognition.
President.
We will have
You
that.
honor us.
They have either been
We will have
banned.
that indeed.
I won't talk
Many
to
good
them.
news, and it's right now
It's
is-
only led to
is your top
problems.
year, and we appreciate the investment. It's a great.
That's
we,
why I'm asking, why
left,
do you guys
as
want to
you
go
know,
down
Saudi
that
Arabia
road
just
when you
then,
know what's
Saudi
going to
Arabia,
happen? It's so odd to me.
Qatar was
And then you
so
tell me
great.
how much you
Egypt
love
was
being
great.
here.
We had,
Then you tell me how much you
UAE.
love,
We had a
love,
couple
love.
other visits.
And
They
John,
were
it's
all
so
great
good. My
places,
life.
and we left
I love.
with $5.1
Oh
trillion
yeah.
of
Oh,
investment.
oh.
And,
Then really?
They all want to be investing in the United States. You know, we have, I think we have over $16 trillion of investment coming in, which is a record, and we're only a little bit into the year. And let's say the first 2 months, I sort of took it easy because we had to fix up the Oval Office. I had to devote my time to fixing it up. But now we had to fix up our country. So we have, I think everyone is saying we have the hottest country now anywhere in the world. We were dead a year ago. We are a dead country. And
I
now
hope
we
you
have the
never do
hottest
it. You
country
should be
anywhere in the
banned, bro.
world. And,
I'm gonna keep at
great
you
honor
and
to
Johnny,
have you.
and
Thank you,
then
Mr.
and it's
President.
funny. It's the
Any
people I'm
questions?
nice to. It's the guys I show love to. I unban.
Well, I can comment. I think I'll
answering
ask
y'all
Marco to say a
emails.
few words on Syria.
Yeah, it's complicated, obviously.
Terrible.
These are historic, long-time
Terrible.
rivalries between different groups.
You're forgiven,
in the
but
south,
y'all need to
west of
correct
Syria,
this shit.
Bedouins.
You see what I'm
the
saying?
Druze
Y'all
community,
y'all
and it led
need
to
the
an
meme,
unfortunate
Josh.
situation and a misunderstanding. It looks
I don't
like
think y'all can
between the
handle
Israeli
Josh
side and
giving
the
y'all
Syrian
a
side.
bunch
So
of nice
we've been
shit, bro.
engaged with them all morning long,
You know that?
and all night long. with
I'm
both
telling
sides.
y'all, it's
and we
wild.
think that we're on our way towards a real de-escalation, and then hopefully get back on track in helping Syria build a country and arriving at a situation there in the Middle East is far more stable. So in the next few hours, we hope to see some real progress to end what you've been seeing over the last couple hours.
Mr. President Jerome Powell, do you have plans, or you're back considering firing Jerome Powell? What's your justification if you're thinking about this?
Well, he's too late. He's always been too late, hence his nickname, Too Late. He should have cut interest rates a long time ago. Europe has cut them 10 times in the short period of time, and we cut them none.
It's true.
The only time he cut them was just before the election to try and help Kamala or
Which is
Biden,
weird.
whoever the hell it was.
Again,
Nobody really
I
knew.
showed you guys this. We are literally the
Obviously,
worst
that
in the
didn't work, but he
world
tried to cut
in
'em
terms
for
of our
the
debt
Democrats,
service due to
Kamala.
the rates.
And
like I'm saying, first time in
How did
history
that work out? You'll
from
tell me. It didn't work out
1965
too
and
well.
prior, you're
But
paying more on this
I
dumbass
think he does a
interest
terrible job.
than
He's costing
anything.
us a lot of money.
I've
And
showed
if
you
I
guys
drew
this
it,
for a
it's
long time.
almost- the country's become
So,
so successful that it
He has a
doesn't have
point.
big impact,
There's
but,
TLT.
it does hurt people wanting to get a mortgage.
Okay, that could have just been gun. They're
people wanna buy
covering
a
now,
house.
maybe.
He's a terrible Fed
Wait,
chair. I was
you just
surprised
said we're
he
not
was
planning on doing
appointed.
anything.
I was surprised, frankly, that
Haha, that's why
Biden put him
TLT.
in and extended him.
Fade it.
But
Danny was right.
They did. So,
yep, TLT to
we're
the
not
upside,
planning on
or
doing
gold is
anything.
going
We're
to
very
plummet now.
concerned.
Yep.
He's doing a little
So
renovation
unwind all
for
those trades, like we
$2.5
said.
billion at the Fed.
I'm gonna still hold the gold. I'm gonna take a loss on that. But if you were listening,
renovation,
that
and
was
we
the
have a
that's it. All
close
the
to
unwind. He
$900
just said
million
no.
cost
That was a
overrun.
trial balloon.
And
Yep.
it's a shame, but the biggest cost overrun
Yeah,
is the cost overrun
he's not,
for
dude.
interest rates.
Chad, good
Because
fucking
we
work,
should
bro.
be paying 3 points lower.
Thank you, Donald. I'm gonna
And
mute
we
you
were-
real quick. You guys see that? Dog, you guys figured that out. You saw that right there. All of it in real time. We got to do it. We talked about it, confirming it. And then remember we would say, dude, we were talking trial balloons. And then Danny's like, how do I fade this? So I think that was a trial balloon. Because literally right away, he just said, I'm not planning on firing him. Do you realize that? That's why TLT is going up. It's not going up because the covering. It's not going up because of the reaction. It's going up because they're unwinding everything that just happened. So now they're like, no, I'm not firing anybody. Well, they're going to blame New York Times on that. But then, do you get it? That's a trial balloon. So they're not going to fire him if it's not going to bring up TLT. Now, Besson's going to come out with something. They're going to try something next. That's crazy. Love it. I'm going to lose all my gold, but we got a little bit of time on there. But I'm fine with that. That was amazing. No, Chad called that one,
No,
bro.
Scott's doing a
That's
very
what I
good
said when the
job.
Chad
I'm
said
very
trial
happy with
balloon. My
Scott.
mind went.
I'd rather keep him.
And then again,
Kevin's
Danny
somebody
asked
we
right
can
away,
save.
and like I was telling you, though,
Kevin's
just
fantastic.
unwind the plays that went up.
We have a
I
lot
hope
of
you
good
guys see
people
that logic.
that,
If you ever doubt
it's not
something,
a tough job, to be honest.
go to the ones that
Assuming you're
move
smart,
big,
it's not
and those
a
are going to
tough
be
job.
the
If
ones
you're a
that
dummy,
will fade.
then I
Because
guess
even
it's a
watch
tough
TLT. I don't
But,
think this one's even going to bounce
it
around
might
a
be
lot.
one
But
of the
like
easiest
gold,
jobs I've
you were
ever
able to
seen.
capture
Now on
all of
top
that.
it,
The
he's
yen, you
building
captured all
close
of
to
it.
$3 billion little nest egg for himself. He's not doing the right job. We should be saving $1 trillion a year in interest. You know, when he talks about cost, we should be saving. Think of it, $1 trillion a year. Add that with the tariffs and everything else. But he just doesn't want. He's a knucklehead. But we'll see how that. We'll see how he's listening to this. Yeah, that's a strange conversation. But we like to say it like it is. But we have
That
a lot
was
of
all you,
people
baby.
that
I
want
didn't
that
call
job very
shit. I
badly.
agreed.
And
I was just
I'm
like,
only
dude, holy
interested
fuck,
in
you guys are right.
low
It is a
interest
trial
people,
balloon.
frankly, because you don't need. I know. So they had the 71 different economists and people experts that they picked about a month ago. I was the only one, along with one person from maybe the Wharton School of Finance. The two of us got it right. 69 people, including Powell, got it wrong. And he wants to hire thousands of new people to help him decide where we're going in the future. It only takes one good mind. It doesn't take 5,000 good minds. So they're expanding the Fed. It's the dumbest thing I've heard of. But it's very autonomous.
Just to follow up on that, sir, are you completely ruling out the idea of firing Jerome Powell?
I don't rule out anything, but I think it's highly unlikely unless he has to leave for fraud. I mean, it's possible there's fraud involved with the $2.5, $2.7 billion renovation.
That's bad.
It's a renovation. How do you spend $2.7 billion? And he didn't have proper clearance, et cetera, et cetera. So that's going on. So there could be something to that, but I think he's not doing a good job. He's got a very easy job to do. You know what he has to do? Lower interest rates.
His job's so easy.
No, I haven't drafted a letter.
So you didn't show a letter to Republican lawmakers last time?
No, I talked about the concept of
He
firing.
did not draft a letter.
Almost every
It
one of
was,
them
in
said I
fact,
should.
a piece of paper
But
while talking
I'm
shit.
more conservative.
And the New
than
York
they are.
Times said it was a draft.
No,
So I'm
no,
glad
we
I
did.
told
We
you
jumped
that. I
about
don't
it.
know
In
if
fact,
that's real or not.
We had
'Cause it
11
wasn't.
of the 12 people here yesterday for a very big bill having to do with
Yes,
crypto,
Donald Trump is the liar in all of
and-
this.
and other
Definitely
things.
not anybody
And,
else.
all of the votes are going with
I'm
us,
glad your
every
critical
single vote.
thinking brought you there.
But during the conversation, when we were talking about it, I asked, what would you do about that? They all said would fire him.
Mr. President,
Yeah, please.
thank you for taking my question, sir. You were in Pennsylvania yesterday and you
Yes.
unveiled $92 billion.
I think all of you getting mad at Trump and saying it's a catfish, I think you are missing the fact that the bright minds in this room just fucking played this just seconds in advance of all of it. Like, do you get what I'm saying? You got it all called out. in real time. So you don't need to be mad, angry, confused, or blame anybody. Because you had the full story. Even though they lied, and even though there was on both sides no information or misinformation, tell me you didn't have all of that cleared up while everybody is still arguing. So I don't know why you're complaining.
You know who I'm talking about. And they're going to spend billions of dollars.
That was crazy, and that's what I'm saying. Good work to you guys.
It's going to be the largest plant of its kind
that was a Chad collaboration
world,
right there.
I believe, actually in the world. And it's going to be
that was amazing.
So we really fulfilled that
like
promise.
I'm saying, I mean, even if my goal play wasn't the best, but the way that we were able to identify that, look ahead, identify possibilities. I think a lot of you were fully prepared on that, or you should have been.
Thank you for bringing that up. We raised 92. It's actually going over 100. So it'll be over $100 billion.
It's not even. Not only did you have it first, I'm telling you like interpretation.
So
I was telling you within seconds what that draft could be. You had Chad's talking about how to fade, what to fade, if it was fake. We talked about the trial balloons, how this could be, and I said I agree with that 1,000%. I was like, there's a lot of things to assist in a world where the information is kind of haphazard and false.
Taking any of the Patriot
in real time. That's what's crazy. So, good work, Chad. Thank you for helping me.
Help Ukraine.
We have no current plans, as we have an operational requirement inside Bahrain to keep them there for the present time.
He's got plenty of them too.
And Mr. President, on the fentanyl bill,
they're wonderful. They're wonderful pieces of kit.
They work very well.
American technology is the best.
Yep.
And on the fentanyl bill,
that's maybe the most important part of this. He has his choice of everything, and we make the best military equipment by far in the world.
None.
There's nothing close, right?
Bar none.
Yeah. Thank you.
And on the fentanyl bill that you're signing today, do you hope that that's going to restart law enforcement cooperation with China on getting the fentanyl?
Yeah, I think China's been helping out. I mean, it's been a terrible situation for many years with fentanyl, but since I came here, we're talking to them, and they're making big steps. They're also, as you know, being penalized. You know that, right? They're being penalized with tariffs because of the fentanyl, but they want to do something. We'll see what happens.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. An American from Tampa was beaten to death, was killed by Israeli settlers in the West Bank. His family has been calling on you to help prosecute against killers. Are you going to do that, American from Tampa?
Yeah, your first sentence is really. Go ahead.
An American citizen from Tampa, Florida, has been killed in the West Bank. His family has been asking you to prosecute him. Are you going to?
Google announces more advanced AI capability coming to
Huckabee has asked the Israelis to conduct an investigation. We want to get all the information about who was involved.
I don't know if that's the time to drop
American
AI news,
Google. In the world, especially if they're unjustly murdered or killed. So we're gathering more information, but I hope you saw yesterday Ambassador Huckabee in Israel asked the Israeli authorities to produce an investigation and concrete information about who was responsible for his murder.
They're reporting that tomorrow. We have a meeting on it. They're going to be reporting that to me tomorrow. Yeah.
Do you think that the Gulf area now is more secure, and do you believe that a negotiation with Iran is necessary at this stage?
Well, I definitely believe that the volatility of the situation has been reduced, and we didn't know where it was going to go on the Sunday. We were very glad when we found out on the Monday. Let me put it that way. And should the Iranians want to negotiate, I believe the ball's in their court. That is the true reality of where we stand today. They are the ones that stand to benefit from a negotiation.
And they do. They want to negotiate. They want to negotiate badly. We're in no rush because, we said.
Okay, watch. They're all matching up now.
They should have
Bonds,
made a deal.
gold, this might be where everything goes in tandem again.
Various places. We're in no rush.
Otherwise, wait for another
headline. If they want to negotiate, we're here. Yeah.
Mr. President, I know you want to move past all this intrigue over the Epstein files, but I do want to ask you to clarify something you said this morning. You said this was all a hoax. Has your attorney
It's a big hoax.
told you this was a hoax? What evidence?
No, it's not the Attorney General. No, I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him. And It's a bad group. It started, actually, look at the Steele dossier that turned out to be a total hoax. The 51 agents, the intelligence, so-called intelligence agents, it was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. And some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work. The Democrats are good for nothing other than these hoaxes. They're bad for policy. They're bad for picking candidates that can get elected. Like in New York, we have a communist running. He may get elected too, actually, but he'll destroy the city. It's I call it the Epstein hoax. It takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements, we've had a great gentleman. Yesterday, as you know, went on CNBC and he made the statement that Trump may go down as the greatest president of all in the United States. And instead of talking about the things we've achieved, we've had tremendous achievement. They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best
Department
we've
of
ever
Energy
had,
starts
all of the
nuclear
things
fuel
we've done,
pilot
including the
program,
Middle East.
seeks companies to build production
Instead, they want to
lines.
talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad
Party
part
declines
is
to say what
people
tariff level on
that
U.S.
are
exports would be acceptable.
really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, there's lots of reports coming into this meeting that you plan on firing Fed Chair Jay Powell.
Is that right? Those are reports, but they're not true.
So what would be useful to know, are you committed to picking someone from the outside? Are you going to interview?
I have so many people that want that job. I have people that I've known a long time. They're calling me, begging for the job. You know what you need there? A smart person with common sense, but you need a very smart person for that job. I think it's one of the easiest jobs in government. You show up once a month and you make a statement about where the economy's going, and we're going to raise or lower interest rates. It's probably the easiest job I've ever seen. That's why I'm trying to figure, why does he want to expand and add more people? He's going to add more economists to tell him what to do. But the economists, I was right. All the economists were wrong. They admitted it. They admitted it this morning. Quiet. Go ahead.
Quiet.
Are you saying you want to investigate the Fed chair for fraud related to this renovation?
Well, I think he's already under investigation. He spent far more money than he was supposed to on rebuilding. I didn't see him as being the kind of guy that would want to have parks, rooftop parks, and everything else on top of buildings. But who wants to spend that money for the
listen,
Fed?
you guys, Chad did so good today,
and say where
and it was
interest
such a
rates are
good
going, and a couple of
conversation.
other very easy things
and you
to do.
saw people,
and he spent $2.5
like for real, you
million
guys, you
dollars.
saw people disagree with me, and in real time, we had such a good conversation that led to helping and answers. Okay, so if you're gonna come in here with your I hate Trump shit, I'm gonna start banning you. Okay, I need real shit. Okay, enough of this shit. Go to CNN, go to Bloomberg. If you want to fucking circle jerk politics without money, be my guest, but not here, okay? So I've been nice. I don't want to ban y'all because when I ban y'all, YouTube don't let you guys come back. But then again, I mean, what must be done must be done. Y'all need to focus. Some of you, most of you already are, and that's why I'm giving grace to everybody else, because like you guys just saw what disagreement in a good manner could cause, but some of you are just being fucking haters for no reason. And I understand, disagree with Trump, that's fine, but I need something productive in my chat.
But we had one yesterday, that was announced. We have another one coming up, maybe with India, I don't know, we're in negotiation. When I send out a letter, that's a deal. In other words, that's a deal. They don't want to ever say that. Oh, how many deals have you made? The best deal we can make is to send out a letter. And the letter says that you'll pay 30%, 35%, 25%, 20%, in one case 50%, Brazil, and because what they're doing to their former president is disgraceful. I know the former president, he fought like hell for the people of Brazil, that I can tell you. And I believe he's an honest man. I think what they're doing to him is terrible. So, yeah, we have some pretty good deals to announce, but every time we send out a letter, that's a deal. The big one really is going to be on the 150 countries that we're really not negotiating with, and they're smaller. We don't do much business with them. Because you have a lot of countries, you have over 200 countries, and a lot of people don't know this, but but we'll have well over 150 countries that we're just going to send a notice of payment out, and the notice of payment is going to say what the tariff, and it's all going to be the same for everyone, for that group. They don't, they're not big countries, and they don't do that much business. It's not like the ones that we've agreed with, like China, like Japan, where we're negotiating with them, but I think probably we'll live by the letter.
You saw that? You saw that tweet?
Yeah. We're very close to a deal with India where they open it up. Indonesia yesterday was, it wasn't an open country, now it is. And they have tremendous copper, quality copper, and probably the most copper.
Talk about MP,
and
big
we
dog.
made a deal with Indonesia. We pay no tariff, zero, and we have total access to trade. That's a phenomenal deal for our companies. And we've agreed with them, as you know, on 19%. They pay 19%. And it's a good deal for them, and it's a good deal for us in that case. But we have a number of them coming up. But overall...
to get oil down a little more, close to deal with India. That was in the morning.
A lot of money. A lot of money.
So again, like bonds are not doing it, but SPY and gold kind of match, like I said a couple minutes ago. Watch out for that.
But we have a little larger piece of land, right?
You do, sir.
But we're number one in the world in oil, and we're drilling, and today it hit $64 a barrel, which is great, and that'll help stop wars, actually. If you want to know the truth, it's going to help stop wars, and we hope to get it down a little bit more. But we have oil down to $2, $2.25, $2.50 in numerous states. We hit one at $1.98 a gallon, and that's a great thing. That's one of the reasons that inflation's in check. When you can do that, you stop the inflation. What Biden did is he ended our policies, went to his policies. He didn't have a policy. Some lunatic around the desk had a policy. Whoever operated the auto pen had a policy, which is, by the way, I think the biggest scandal. That's the scandal they should be talking about, not Jeffrey Epstein. The scandal you should be talking about is the auto pen, because I think it's the biggest scandal, one of them in American history.
How about this?
So the economy is doing
I'll make
really
you a deal,
well.
Mr. Deal Man.
And,
you give us the list, and we will all complain about the auto pen. How about that? I'll trade you. We'll trade you the list for the Epstein list for the auto pen list. How about that? How about that? No? Okay.
Release. I think it's.
Okay. No, we're not doing. Oh, okay.
But it's
I'm
just
getting
really,
arrested. Why?
It's just
what
a
did
subject.
What the fuck?
He's
Biden?
dead.
What
He's
the?
gone. And
Josh.
all it is the Republicans. Certain Republicans got duped by the Democrats, and they're following a Democrat playbook. And no different than Russia, and all the other hoaxes.
He won't stop talking about Epstein. I know,
they're started by the Democrats.
He won't shut up about it. That's all
some
he talks
Republicans,
about.
In this case, I was
surprised.
surprised.
It's like the same people who only talk shit about
duped.
Trump. It's like the same thing. It's like they won't stop talking about Trump. They won't stop talking about Epstein. They're like, oh my God, just shut up. I feel, bro. I feel.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak about him, but I can say that Pam Bondi, I really think that she's done very good. She says, I gave you all the credible information. And if she finds any more credible information, she'll give that too. What more can she do than that? I mean, honestly, what more can she do? And we do have bigger problems. You know, we have problems with millions of illegal people that came in here, and they're killers and murderers. We have 11,888 murderers that were allowed into our country by Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, stupid Joe Biden. He allowed them into our country. And you know what? We got to do something about it. She's got a lot of things she's working on. And, you know, it's very sad that somebody can be waylaid, that just get waylaid. But I think she's doing a great job, personally. Go ahead.
On your Tuesday session this morning, you mentioned past supporters when you were talking about the Epstein issue. Does that mean that you're effectively disowning any supporters?
No, but I lost a lot of faith in certain people. Yeah, I lost because they got duped by the Democrats. The Democrats are good for nothing. They've done a terrible job. They almost destroyed our country. If I didn't get elected, all these numbers you're hearing about, they found $25 billion and another 25 is coming in, and hundreds of billions of dollars is pouring into our country. And we just got the biggest tax cut in history. We just got the biggest regulation cuts in history. There'll be no tax on tips. There'll be no tax on Social Security. There'll be no tax on overtime. There'll be no tax on so many other things. You're allowed to deduct your interest from a car payment. That's never happened before. You borrow interest. You borrow money to buy a car if the car is made in America. And by the way, factories are being built all over America, car factories, AI factories, but you get a deduction on your interest. Nobody ever thought of that before. It never happened before. And, you know, these are the things that they should be talking about. The
I know, I like
big, beautiful
it, but then I
bill
don't
is
like
one of the
AI
greatest
bill,
pieces
and
of
there's this, I don't
legislation
know.
ever.
Everybody
in
has
this
something.
country.
We
And
all got bribed.
The Democrats
with this bill.
have nothing
Generate
to combat
revenue,
it, so they
seize
say,
the assets, and
it's
sell them,
death,
and find
death.
fucking
Oh,
$10 trillion
that's good.
in gold, please.
And then they give it to the fake
That's it.
news,
Otherwise,
which is
I
you
don't
and a
like
few
it.
others. And the fake news talks about the bill is death. The bill is actually life. The bill is
It
life,
is. If
and
we
it
have
saves our
revenue,
country.
it
This
does
bill
generate.
is
It could be the
incredible.
golden age.
Look at
but
the
if
results
not,
already.
We
So
turn
we
to
have
China.
$16 trillion being invested in our country. And this great gentleman and his family just came in with another billions of dollars. And if he didn't like the
GOP
country, if he
dinner
didn't like
with
where we
Powell
were
was
going,
just
he's very
canceled.
smart. He'd come,
Huh?
maybe he'd come, maybe he wouldn't even come. I think maybe it wouldn't even come. You'd save your time. But, because, you know, it's one of those things. But if he didn't like where this country was, he wouldn't be investing billions of dollars in this country. But think of it, $16 trillion, more than has ever been even contemplated before. And we haven't even started yet. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the success. And the Democrats have nothing to show for what they do. They almost destroyed. They allowed 25 million people to come into our country, gang members, jailbirds, from all over the world, not South America, from all over the world. They allowed them to come into our country from mental institutions, insane asylums, just walk right through. They couldn't come into your country. They couldn't come into any country in the world except our country. And they came in from the worst places, gang members, drug dealers. They all came in. Turn it off, please. They all came in.
Jesus walk with them. Now
I'm doing something
he
about it.
want to see
We
me
have it
more
under
clearly.
check right
I
now.
know he hear me when
We
my
got rid
feet
of a
get
lot of the
weary.
murderers already. Some of them we put in our prisons because they're so bad we don't want to take a chance in putting them in a foreign prison, have them come back. But we've done a great job. Our country's in great shape. We literally have the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. And it's true what the king said, what a lot of people said. We were a dead country. 1 year ago, we were a dead country. We were laughed at all over the world. We had Afghanistan with that horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history
Follow
of
me
our
on Instagram
country.
at the Train for Train.
Look what
News on
happened with
Twitter.
Russia and Ukraine. That should have never happened. Look what happened with Israel. That would have never happened. Hamas had no money. Iran had no money. There was no money to do an attack like that. All these things that happened that wouldn't have happened if you had good leadership. And that's what you should be talking about. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Quiet. I'm still peeing, bro. I'm not walking my ass back. Fuck that. I can't stop midstream. Can you hear the stream? Not as powerful today, but it's got some power. Hi, son.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great honor to have Prime Minister Mark Carney with us.
All right. Yeah, you heard it? All right, nice. What up, baby? How are you guys? God bless you. I hope you're having a good day. And you guys did good, man. Okay? So thank you for that. And oh, man, I always love it to see how we work good, you know, because I think I do a really good job, but I'm biased. But, oh, it's much more beautiful when we work together like that. And like I'm saying, man, some of you had disagreements. You had counter arguments, and you presented them properly. You presented them as somebody who wanted the truth. And I'm glad we had discussions, and I think our discussions helped a lot of people. And like I'm saying, it's funny because everybody tries, like, dude, it's not about being fast. And a lot of you kept saying, you're fast. I'm like, no, dude. I think fast is dope, but at the end of the day, it's like, to be in this confusing of an environment, and when, like I'm saying, dude, they're saying waived papers are documents, and, you know, the reporting and the moves, it's like to have the clarity in the moment of the possibilities and being able to look ahead and challenge the ideas and all. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I was geeked on what we just did, because I'm like, bro, that was amazing, and I love it. So it was good to have all of it together, not just one factor. It was everything. And like I'm saying, those of you who even disagreed, you played your part very, very well, and I think we all did amazing. So good work, man. And then again, to those of you who afterwards wanted to just talk shit, that's not okay. You know, and I encourage you to make your conversations be a part of this. Let's get to the goal. Let's get to the mission, because that was nice, bro. That was nice. That was fun to watch. So either way, we still got like another 3-4 hours left. Woo! Happy Wednesday. Oh, the crypto vote? Yeah. That should be. Again, yesterday we got some reactions from it. So I think I just want the secure or the CBDC one. Ban them from the government. Trump admin close to an agreement to de-escalate Israel and Syria. Trader Mo. What up, baby? Good morning. Is it still the morning? 9:30? Afternoon if you're in New York? So, what up? And then Bailey, that house you said, I don't know if you're still here. I think that was a portfolio sale. So if it sold for way more back then, I just saw one of those. That one that guy sent me earlier was a portfolio sale. That's why it was like split up. So that could explain the high price on with that doesn't comp out. I don't think the Powell stuff is over. I'm telling you, it clicked in real time. Somebody in the chat was just like, it's a trial balloon. And I was like, holy fuck, it is. Because the bonds are, dude, and every time, I told you this while it was happening, you guys know this. You just got to be aware of it. Pause in the moment and take a step back. Anytime the bond yields have got to the danger zone, remember from the beginning of this year, every time they pulled something out of their ass. Whether it's a headline, a trade deal, or a Besant idea. And once again, as we're getting to that level, you get this firing Powell thing. And then right when the bond yields don't go up, he's like, nah, never mind. So, yeah, I think that's the end. So that's why I don't think it's done. I think you're correct. I don't know if it'll be about Powell, but something's going to happen there. They're going to try to pump something for bonds. Again, I do think the admin, I think they want bond yields to get a bid because it does make their goals challenging. I think they want TLT to go up. Like I said, on 4, maybe 4.25 and below. That's what the government wants. That's what Donald Trump wants. I think. This is my opinion, but to give you more confidence in my opinion, this is the same opinion I had from the end of last year and the beginning when Donald Trump got into office. So I'm not changing my mind on this. It's just been 7 months of the same game. That's the funny part. So it's still the same exact story, same exact setup. It's just been 7 months of moving slow. 9 months, really. So, yeah, but I do think that anytime we get to the danger zone, they've been reacting. And then with all of their policies, the bill, they need rates at a certain price because it just gets challenging. And, again, it gets costly. Tesla's been on the high all day. Nasdaq's down. Let me see. Does it check up? Dow Jones 13 green, 17 in the red, 36 green on the Nasdaq, 65 in the red. It got worse, a lot worse. And then 207 green, 297 in the red. Not good. Not good at all, brethren. Alright, I got an idea. Are you guys down to go to Philo early? Because I kind of want to. But then I feel like something's going to happen, though. That's what sucks. I'm a little on edge now. I thought today was going to be chiller, but I got a little... You look at the market. So... But let's see. I have such a good philo. I have the funniest philo ever. He's going to blow your guys' minds. It's hilarious. Please, not another Sweden joke. Oh no, what's gonna happen? Are you gonna smile? Oh no. Oh no, please. Please, Josh, no. Please, no, not another fun fact. I can't handle it. Oh, I might enjoy my day. Oh, Josh, please, no. Don't do it, Josh. Oh my God, don't share with us something that will make us smile. Oh no, I can't handle it right now. This is not the time, Josh. Oh, please don't waste my time with such smiling activities. Okay, man, my bad. I will refrain. I didn't know. My bad. Tesla. I got it in the bottom right. Oh, I think I got it. Omro, I want to say I did, but it's not. Usually I remember. Let me see. Because I got a lot that day, and I remember you were there with Christian. But I don't think I got your email, dog. I don't like checking during the day, but I don't see one. Tradingfraternity@gmail.com. Resend it. That sounds familiar. I remember you telling me that. But then I remember also, too, I answered your question like 3 times, and then you asked me the same thing that same day. So, if you're here and you really want an answer, email me and like actually do it correctly this time, and try to listen. Otherwise, I'm going to think you're trolling me because I remember that. But yeah, I don't see your email. I got Christian's email. I remember that, but I don't see yours. No, I look Latino Evolution. Trading Fraternity. A lot of people put the Trading Fraternity. That's incorrect. Trading Fraternity. And then can I give you guys a reminder? Because like I said, I saw it the other day. And this time it's reversed. And this time believe me, like, hear me out. If you hit us up sooner, we could help. But like I said, I've seen some people rushing house purchases. And then, this is now, I've gotten maybe the third. I got way more of these a couple years ago. but some people having problems with their homes. So if you're having a problem and you need an answer, hit me up before, okay? Because we're helping somebody out right now. They ran into a problem and they have opportunities at their disposal, but they only have like 2 weeks now. So they contacted me like 2 weeks before their X date. Don't do that. Contact me as soon as possible if you need real estate help, okay? And then same thing, before you buy, don't contact me if you're already in escrow. You've already made your decision. The point is before. Time, preparation, kind of like when we had that call yesterday or that talk with the guy with the debt. You got to look ahead and prepare in advance. So whether things are going right or things are going wrong, you got to kind of start thinking like that. If I could encourage any of you, like you have a problem, don't deal with it at the last minute. Whether it's a mortgage, whether it's taxes, don't do it at the last minute. You need to pursue and tap into your opportunities right away if you have a deadline, and vice versa. When it comes to the house, making your biggest decision, you want to ask the important questions before you commit and buy, not after, not during. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, because I'm seeing it on both sides now. But go in those areas and you'll be good. Before, don't delay. Remember, we just talked hesitation. Don't do that. If it's a serious matter, right away. If you think I'm an amazing person, can I tell you about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? Because I'm actually terrible, and any good in me is a result of him. So yeah, I don't know if you want to hear it right now, but yeah, amen. Man, let me set up Philo before somebody turns to salt. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. I don't wanna clean up. Aisle 5, we got a salt spill. What? On today's episode of the next episode, traders realize they're in the episode waiting for the next episode. As Trump tells them the next episode is yesterday's episode, but it's not yesterday's episode. They prepare for today's episode. Brought to you by Bloomberg. We hate you and we want to sell you things. After we garner enough attention from Bloomberg to little people in Josh's chat, after we have gotten enough comfortability, we are going to start selling you dog shit because we want your money. Brought to you by Wall Street. Don't buy a house. Change your mind every day. So yeah, amen. A retainer fee is somebody you're paying them for their time, like a lawyer. Don't do it. So you're doing the debt thing you emailed me, right? Anybody asking you for a retainer, don't give them money. You don't need to give anybody money right now. This is just like the other dude with the debt. And this is why y'all think I'm a hater. I was just a poor boy who got rich. Let's be real. So that's why when I ran into problems, I didn't have the option of buying something. So that's why you don't buy courses. You don't need to buy. You need to stop spending. That's the thing. Okay? Very simple. You're going to pump the Godel terminal? No, I wouldn't trust that. I think Martin Shkreli is a genius. I think he's a smart man, but he's shady. So I don't trust that, and you're banned for promoting that dumb shit. Next. So you are, and I'm not, you should know that. You should know that. I've reacted like that before. And that's it, guys. I'm not being nice anymore. You guys, and you could thank the guys who I was nice to that proceededly violate all of the rules. Because when I am nice to you guys, I've already banned so many people. And then now the people I thought were solid are all going to cave. So y'all can't handle nice Josh. Next step, we're going to go back to charging for shit. Okay? I need y'all. I want rules. And I want you to do what we just did an hour ago. That's what I want. Anything else, ridiculous. If you bail someone out and they pass away, are you talking from jail? Otherwise, I don't know. I've never bailed someone out of jail and they died. So yeah, I don't know if that's what you're asking, or if you're talking about debt transferring over to descendants. So jail, I have no idea. We have a couple of felons and past felons, if anybody else wants to weigh in, but I don't know. I have no idea how that would work. And then again, so anybody asking you for a retainer, Christian, they're probably asking you to don't do that. You want to call, and then that means if you called that number and they asked you for a retainer, you're not really getting sued. So I'll look over that info again, but go check with the courthouse. Go look at the local courthouse and see if there's a docket, see if there's a filing with your name on it. Otherwise, I think you just got sent an ad and they're trying to trick you into paying them money. Ta-da! So yeah, if there's no real active court case, I think it's all a scam. They're just trying to get you to pay money and get scared. Yeah, because it looked like it could be one of those. It looked like a legit filing. That's why I was like, oh shit, he got sued. But then he called the number and now he's saying they're asking him for a retainer. So that doesn't sound correct. You might need to file a motion to get the bail exonerated. That would make sense. But like I said, I don't have experience with that, so I don't know. But that sounds logical. They're trying to make you pay the bail? Yeah. So I think you got to go to the courthouse and then you could file the motion for it. But if the person has passed away, they didn't violate the terms of the bail. They died. So, and sorry for your loss, too. I know. So Christian, I'll go over that again, but I think you could ignore that if they're asking you for a retainer. Just double check with the local courthouse and see if you have a file, some case open against you. If you don't have a case open, you're done, dude. I think you're good, bro. Oh, don't worry. His name was Rob, man. God is good, bro. You know that? And thank God he's merciful, but some people call it karma. Oh, the justice of the Lord, bro. Amen. So take heart. Take heart. The Lord sees all. There's a scam saying your cousin is in jail and you needed to bail him out. Oh, wow. I've heard of those. Or they'll try to, like, robocall from your mom's phone number. They, like, find your mom's phone number and spoof it. But, yeah, so be careful if you get calls like that. And if it sounds uncharacteristic. The other one is kidnapping. So if you guys didn't know, and for some of the older people out there, if you get a call and someone says we kidnapped somebody you know, chances are it's fake. Okay? Because there is a scam that has gotten people. They use AI. And they use AI and they'll play the voice of your loved one and they'll make it seem like they're kidnapped and they'll tell you to send money. It's really weird, but people have fell for it. So be very careful. If someone contacts you like that, contact the person you think is in danger. Or if someone says they're in jail, contact them before doing anything. Oh, yeah, with the real-time deep fakes. I know. It's crazy. But, like, you know, people know, but, like, it fools, like, older people. And if you're not real tech savvy, you'll trip out. That's why I think people fell for it, because it sounds ridiculous, but it actually got a lot of people. Your grandma got a call, and that happened. She was about to wire it, then called you. Good. Yeah, bro. And that's the thing, bro. You guys, like, for real, if you have, like, older parents, grandparents, like, I know some of you, like, you may not want to, and it's sometimes it seems like a lot of work, but just remember, those people are vulnerable to scams financially. Like, believe me, bro, it's so terrible. So terrible. So make sure, if you have that, just remind your grandparents, remind your older parents, and also, too, if they trust you and you are the one handling their finances, just be aware of it. Or, again, try to, like, you could even add yourself to accounts so that way, they call you. Freeze all of your grandparents' credit cards. If they're not buying anything on credit, you should always freeze it. You know what I'm saying? There's things you could do to add steps so that one little mistake, it's not as easy. You know what I'm saying? The scam for us, when we're at grandparent age, the scam is gonna be drones. It'll be like drone shows that like arrange themselves as a deity, and then it's gonna be powered by AI, and it's gonna tell you it's Jesus and to give it all of your money, and you're gonna do it probably. So that would probably be what we'll fall for when we're like 90. We'll be like, oh my God, it's the second coming. Look how big it is in the sky. You want my crypto wallet? Okay, Lord. Amen. So yeah, that could happen. Otherwise, I have no idea. That's the only thing I could foresee. Norway finance minister, close contact with EU and US on tariffs. All right, bro. Game time. Let's set up the philo. Gotta make sure it takes us there. Dude, I don't know. For some reason, we've been having problems the last 24. We'll see what happens today. A couple in the morning. It was a little better. But just make sure that's why I post the link. We're not leaving. We're just going to another video, and it should take you there. But if it doesn't take you there, you got to click the link and go to the channel. So sometimes it causes problems. That's what we noticed yesterday. But if you want to be there, you can be there. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow or end of the day or whenever you decide. And then tomorrow's Friday, Junior. Woo! But other than that, Chattadonia, we're going to move on over to philo. If you don't want to hear any of that nonsense, then, nonsense away. But I love you. God bless America and you. And I will see you in a little bit. Peace.